and gentlemen, it's what you've been waiting for. The finals of Titan Esports Conqueror League. And who else but my compadre, my friend, my colleague, Crims, alongside me. I'm Lam, of course. I'm going to be your play-by-play for tonight's matchup. Crims, welcome to the desk for the final time this season. How does that feel?
It feels like it's been a long journey, Lamb. We've been casting this for months now. Various teams, we've seen them play against each other. And now it's down to the final two in a best of 5 to see who is going to be the Titans champion. And it's been a really exciting journey. It's been a great journey. The opening to the season was amazing. And I'm hoping we're going to close out the same way here. None other than Dorado and Rubber Ducky Gaming. I mean, what else could you want for a finals? As these two teams, of course, are top team performers. And not only that, double 6-0 smash to get to grand finals here as well. So we know these teams are in tip-top shape, and they're here to win.
And winning is what they do best. It honestly is. Like you already touched on, they are undefeated in the playoffs. Both of these giant organizations full of capable individuals that we've been so thoroughly entertained along the whole season. But now, push comes to shove. All those other games, they don't matter. You've done your job. You've made it to the final. Now's your chance to grab that also important championship. So when we actually take a look at both of these organizations, they come from the same group. So Group A, you could say that Group A was kind of like the group of death, where Rubber Ducky Gaming and Dorado Gaming Epsilon, they only met one time in the regular season here, Crims, and Dorado came out on top, 2-0. Are we expecting the same here? We're actually in the picks and bans, so you have to transition your thought into that one.
Well, look, that was a while ago, and both these teams have made wonderful transitions in their playstyle, as well as the patch changes. Not something drastic, but nice and subtle changes throughout. There's things that have been opened up in the draft, like that Senna combo that we see is being taken away here. And not to mention, today is patch day. So if any of these teams want to make an adjustment on the new patch and try to test their luck in the finals, well, we're going to see that right here as well. Viego, also a really good pick, especially with that Jinx that's been cropping up, Lim. I know you've been talking about that one for a while. So both these teams here, every draft ban really matters right now.
Yeah, there's so many people that actually take focus in the picks and bans that how can you actually ban them out? There's been a variety of champions right across this whole season. There's been the staple picks that even come across such individuals such as Tough Daddy, such as that big, honestly, that big performance by Espresso, RDG in the last 3-0. And do you know what? It's going to be thoroughly entertaining. Again, what a way to actually wrap off the Conqueror season than having two of these teams right in front of us here today. This is going to be a spectacle, honestly is. And if the Excel sheet is lying to me, then whoever edits that needs to go take a good look at it again, Crims, because I'm not being lied to. Not on finals day.
Yeah, they need to take a hike here as the Nautilus is going to be removed. So maybe Dorado want to play an Enchanter of sorts here. Also want to take away something that's really good combo with the Kaisa, but I mean, Vesper in the last series that we saw him was just magnificent on the Varus. As Belveth is the final ban, as Espresso is a really good carry in the jungle.
Espresso, that top lane synergy as well was something that was peak League of Legends at time. Him and Flame, the synergy honestly off the charts, but they're up against it today. Big bald and thick. What a name that is. You can't get tired of saying that name, Crims. Honestly, it is such a phenomenal character.
I feel like it would jive with you.
It would jive, yeah, it would absolutely. Jive. You know I'm already on board with that. You know I'm already on board. But RDG, they're going to prioritize that highly anticipated Jinx. They get that in for Vesper, so a slight change-up. And speaking of change-up, they're going to take away the Thresh. Thresh is that traditional pairing with a Jinx. So what are you expecting to see follow here for Dorado?
Well, the Nautilus would be pretty nice. So, already banned away. So the Thresh pick here makes a lot of sense. Removes that protection from Jinx. And, I mean, you could pick something up like a Twitch. Twitch is a really good counter into Jinx. You basically if you're in that 1v1, you out damage her at every point in the game. Of course, Jinx has the ability to reset, unlike Twitch. Ezreal here, they're going with a safe pick. They're going to play safe in the bot side. They can threaten with the Thresh here, but the Ezreal is a bit of a question mark for me. So I don't know what their plan is bot side here. Could be some trickery on the side of Dorado.
Well, where that Ezreal ends up, once again, whatever comes out from the draft from either of these guys, then it's obviously rehearsed. And Rakan being paired up with the Jinx isn't such a bad pick going into the Thresh now. You have so much displacement, and of course that quickness comes into effect. It's so highly regarded where Rakan players in particular is when you go out into those team fights, you need to pick your moment. You get caught out, you eat a flay, you eat a hook, then it's going to prove pretty hard for you to actually get out of there alive. So that bot lane synergy already going to be revealed here. There's no secrets thus far, unless Israel is going to be moved to that mid lane. Dorado, they could be holding on to that one until the second phase here, but it looks like RDG going to round it off with the Udyr.
Okay, Udyr, very strong pick in the jungle early phase. And he does have some problems with terrain, but very notably in team fights has that CC immune as well as the stun to really catch out something like a Jinx. Ezreal's going to fare a bit better than someone who is a immobile carry here. I do like the J4 to the Udyr because you can basically make him stuck in the Cataclysm. But Lilia isn't too bad either because that does give you the ability to peel the Rakan and the Udyr. So Dorado, so far, they have a pretty variable comp. They can play Thresh as a pick with the Ezreal, who can also follow up on that, but also they can kite back as well. Ezreal does have that capability with the Lilia. So Dorado have a very balanced comp, while Rubber Ducky Gaming looks like they've indexed on a lot of engage fighting in the front line here.
Well, Lilia certainly going to help put people to sleep. Follow that up and buy time for the rest of the team. Interestingly enough, the Lilia kind of wants to do the same thing as Rakan. Get in and out, kind of get your damage down on the Lilia side. So we'll see Hybrid Carry take out the Lilia in the first game of this best of 5 Conqueror final. What a spectacle. It really is. It's sizing up. Second phase of the bans are coming through now. Aurelia going to be taken away by RDG, followed by the Seraphine. Dorado looking for another one. They're going to take away that Olaf. So we've seen Flame once again. That Olaf pick, it seems to be a pocket pick that's now coming into contention here, Crims. We're not going to see it in game 1 though.
Olaf is just came out of nowhere, but it seems like, however, someone like Adam has figured out that Olaf is really strong in laning phase as well as being able to dominate the carries of this meta right now. So Olaf being taken away, really good at basically catching anyone or killing someone who is immobile. Malphite is going to be taken away, and that is a good option to get on Jinx and basically make her potential drop here. So that was a good ban from them. I think that makes it very smart. They do need some heavy engage if they want to index in the team fighting. Otherwise, Dorado gonna play full kite here. And so far, they have another kite tool. Does give them the ability to picks with that Thresh and Ezreal. But so far, Dorado have not drafted an engaged champion.
Well, for anybody who was under the impression that Ezreal would be flexed away, that's going to reveal that it will not. It will be Syndra in that mid lane for Dorado Gaming Epsilon. That's going to go on to Tough Daddy, who's been a tough character, tough opponent thus far in the season for anybody who's laned against him. And he's certainly in a matchup in that mid lane with Red Honda, who we've seen that was so influential again in that 3-0 in the semi-finals here. Crims, he's taken back to the Rift now. He's going to lock in that Victor. So once again, it's going to be that handshake Victor Syndra matchup that we're so used to seeing.
Yeah, Victor does do more damage in the team fight. Syndra has more of that pinpoint target damage here. And that's going to pair well with the Thresh, while Victor pairs well with the Udyr and the Rakan. So Rubber Ducky Gaming basically say, we're going to team fight you. And that Gnar certainly locks that in here, Lamb. Rubber Ducky Gaming, their full comp on display. Lots of AoEs, lots of damage that's going to be spread around. They have 2 good frontliners, and they have AoE CC. No doubt a team fight comp here from Rubber Ducky Gaming. Dorado, if they want to draft engage, they can do that. Helps give them more spread of ability, more flexibility in the game. Otherwise, looks like they're going for that kite and single target damage. They could flex that in here. They're going to put themselves a frontliner, and a massive frontliner in that Scion pick here. So they're going to bolster their ability to team fight back into Rubber Ducky Gaming, but I think they really want to have an early lead here. And Lamb, you know, I kind of always jump the gun on team analysis, but yeah, I gotta say it when I see it. I gotta say it when I see it, you know.
It's absolutely true. Jump the gun. I mean, we always do that, Crimson, and half of the time we're completely wrong, but it bodes well for everybody watching. And of course, if everybody's watching now, you can see both of these teams locked in the final. This could be you next season. Sign-ups, Crims, they're open. They got to be signed in. You got to be signing up for Divinity and the Conqueror, especially. I can not reveal. Actually, I will reveal. Me and Crims are going to be here next season as well, baby. Yeah, there we go.
I thought you were talking about the teams. You baited me here. Okay.
Yeah,
however, we can't tell you any details. We can't tell you any details, but there's going to be some returning teams, and obviously there's some new applications, so send them in as soon as possible if you want to be in the next season of this Titan Conquerors League here. And Lamb, both of these teams have selected their comps. Dorado, I've been saying it. Kite, Peel, they do have that one frontliner in the Scion. They do have a team fighter in that Lilia, but they have to be making picks. Rubber Ducky Gaming, they're going to go for a full-on team fight comp, front to back, and knock it back with that Jinx and that Victor here. So there's going to be a lot of action for you in game number 1 of the finals.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all. And okay, Crims, let's actually dive into these compositions a little bit more. Talk to me through the first 15 minutes of the game. If we're looking at Dorado here, what is your objective in that early game? You got the Ezreal, you got the Syndra, not really the champions. I mean, the argument could be made that Tough Daddy wants to try and take that 1v1 anyway. It doesn't really matter what champion this guy has. He wants to crush the opposing mid laner. But in theory, let's remove the individuals from the equation and let's talk about the champions. What do these champions want to accomplish in that first 15 minutes of the game?
Yeah, I think Dorado want to secure a lead through the bot side. Jinx is going to be a huge source of carry potential for the side of Rubber Ducky Gaming through the hands of Vesper there. So they have that Thresh, very good at catching out that Jinx with the hook, and the Ezreal can follow up. And they really want to make sure they have that early lead because, Lamb, they are a single target focused team here. The Thresh, Ezreal, Syndra can only really hit one champion at a time. That's where most of their damage is. And so they're going to want to make sure that these champions are ahead in the game so they can burst out someone like that Rakan, like the Jinx and the Victor. And if they really have to, yes, they can use their burst to cut through that Udyr or Gnar in that front line and try to win the team fight through there. So they need to make sure they have that burst damage on lock. Sion's going to just scale. Lilia, it's hard to make early plays with her until she's level 6, so also just going to be scaling, try to facilitate lanes in the meantime. Syndra, Ezreal, I think these champions should be able to garner a lead in their lanes here.
And we know how important that top lane jungle is for Rubber Ducky Gaming, right? Flame, Espresso, they're in hot form. And they look very hard to stop. So are we expecting to see that Udyr transition up there to the top lane, try and get this Sion out of the game? I mean, it is Sion, so it's going to prove very hard. The longer the game goes on, this guy's going to be tougher to kill. They do have, you could arguably say that that tank killing prowess is going to be relied upon that Jinx. So Vesper kind of just breezed on by in the semi-finals, honestly. Wasn't really shook, not under a lot of pressure. Very clean Virus games, by the way. So Jinx coming out from is a different look, and it really bodes well in this meta right now. Jinx is that champion that can hyper carry any kind of game. But they're kind of up against it. So do we expect that top lane pressure to come out from RDG? Are they going to focus that, or is it going to be transitioned to the south side, the Summoner's Rift here?
Yeah, they're going to be wanting to play towards that top side. Gnar is going to be able to poke down this Sion, going to offer the pressure that the team needs. Victor and Syndra should be able to contest enough. I think a little bit in Syndra's favor, but Victor should be able to meet there, so they have that strength in the Gnar. And I'm looking for Rubber Ducky Gaming to aim for that Rift Herald right on that timer, right on the dot. And I mean, I've said this 1,000 times now in these playoffs. Take that Rift Herald and give it to your Jinx. Get the gold on your Jinx that way. And using the strength of someone like Gnar is the way to go in this meta, in my opinion. So that's what I want to see. Rift Herald focus, send it to the Jinx, get Jinx ahead after that 8-minute mark here, and just let her try to scale into the game before then.
And it's going to be incredibly difficult. Already, you can say it's going to be incredibly difficult for Sion up there in the top lane. Flame, very monstrous on Gnar. Very poke heavy. Knows how to trade. Very familiar with the champion. So it's no surprise that this guy picks up the Gnar in this game. Team fighting composition, it makes sense. Rounds it off, it's perfect. How good is Gnar bar? Judging into the teleport situations, it's very good from what we know. So that answers that question. But again, I'm going to bring your attention to Red Honda, who has been another star individual in that mid lane. But up against it today against Tough Daddy, who do you see winning that matchup in that mid lane? The Victor Syndra is normally just a handshake, but these are very aggressive laners.
This, oh man, I mean, talking just who's going to win it, I really don't think these mid laners outmatch each other too much here. So I think it's going to be close. Dorado does tend to play a little crazy, fast and loose, so maybe Tough Daddy's going to die first, but I'm certain that they're going to find some kills back as well. So I'm thinking it's going to be contested. I don't think anyone's really going to get outclassed in that mid lane, but wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple kills being slung back and forth in that mid lane.
All right, so that leads me to my next question, Crims. Who's going to take game 1 of the best of 5 final?
Ooh, it's getting harder and harder, and now we're at grand finals here as to who's going to win. You know what? We haven't seen these teams in the playoffs match up here, and they're going to be meeting at a head for the first time. So I'm going to go with something that's a little more scale-centric, a little bit more on the safe side as my first pick. Just based off the draft, I think Rubber Ducky Gaming are going to take this one. However, I don't think they got major draft diff. I do think that they lose a lot of agency on that bot side, which could be worrying. So I don't think it's like Dorado is... I think it's like a 55-45 here. Or maybe even like 53. It's that close. So Rubber Ducky Gaming, I'm going to take it by a margin.
All right, you know what that means. My statistical analysis ends at that, and I'm going to go Dorado Gaming Epsilon because we need to make it interesting. To make it even more interesting, the predictions are up, so you got to get those in. If you're winning in the channel points department, then you're just a born winner, baby. It's a dub. But also, clip competition, it's not over just yet. And Sems is actually, he messaged me the other day and he's like, hey, look, Lam, it's an all-inclusive holiday, but now we're moving to Barbados. So Barbados for anybody who wins that. It's pretty good. Remember, Lam and Crims, we're your best friend. It's got to spell good. Remember the factor 50. This Scottish skin doesn't last very long in the heat, let me tell you. But guys, we're going to cut to a small break. When we come back, it's starring the final of Conqueror. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to game 1 of the Conqueror final. Crims, this place just takes your breath away, and by place I mean Summoner's Rift in Titan Esports on a Wednesday. There's no better occasion for two titanic organizations to meet, and it's going to be a good one. We're strapped in. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be everything the anticipation has been building all through playoffs. The expectation of both of these orgs now meets their maker. Who's going to stand tall and who's going to fall? We had our predictions, you could say. Just little soft predictions. Let's be honest. We don't really stick to it. Well, you do the analytical point of view. I butchered that so badly. But you do that point of view, and then I just go along for the ride. That's usually the way it happens.
I'm usually the one steering the bus.
Say that word that I messed up.
Analytical?
There we go. He corrected me.
Okay.
We got it, guys.
It's okay. Lamb's actually, English is a second language, so you're forgiven. That invade, or at least it looked like more of a bait from the side of Dorado. Didn't really get what they were fishing for there. Meanwhile, Rubber Ducky Gaming said they want to play super safe early, so they go for that 5-point start. And it's showing here in the gameplay as well. Both of these junglers starting bot side. I'm guessing that ward from the top from Espresso is convincing Hybrid Carry to start bot side as well. So they're going to be playing towards that Gnar Scion, and I already highlighted this in draft. Flame should have the initial advantage up there.
Yeah, so comfortable on
that.
this champion, but yeah, misses that one. So again, the pressure of being in the final, I fully expect everybody to rise to the occasion because we have so many broad shoulders across the rift today, and really, there's no separating them. That's why they meet in the final here. That's why they're undefeated in the full length of the playoffs consecutively, winning 3-0 in the first and the second round. But that cannot continue, or can it, Crims? Could there be a clean sweep in the works? I certainly hope not. We're expecting fully capable team fights as well. And that ward that you already mentioned, Hybrid Carry, is now going to make it to that red side of the jungle. And you can see that Oud here, Espresso, just matching it. So attention going up to that top side.
All right, pushing from Flame here. Big Ball trying to fight back. And, oh, that's a hook from me, Ryan. Not going to result in anything, just a little trade. I don't think Hybrid should go for that scuttle. The pressure from Flame already means that that's going to be a 2v1, at least momentarily, for Big and Bald to catch up there. So, going to have to back and probably track down the bot side. I don't think they're going to be able to dive either. I mean, this Scion just too tanky and has enough HP to survive as well. Oh, mid lane gank, though, on the table.
Yeah, red buff burn applied to the Victor. Scar of the Week going to land as well on the red Honda. Laser goes out. And that's Hybrid Carry actually being eaten alive by the Wingborn Storm, but First Blood going to go over to that Lily, and it's going to be returned by Espresso. You see action, fireworks exploding just north side of that mid lane, and it looks like both of the junglers are going to feast and famine in that one.
I wonder what the timing was there, because they should have known Hybrid Carry was on the top side. I guess they thought Espresso was already being there first, and now that means there is a double scuttle for Espresso. They get the push in on bottom as well, so that's going to set Hybrid Carry back in terms of CS. However, the First Blood going to be pretty nice to speed this Lily ahead from Espresso here. That death's not going to hurt Red Honda too much. TP'd back to lane, has the push still. However, I mean, Hybrid Carry getting that First Blood there. I'm wondering if they can go for that again, because no flash on Red Honda.
Well, two amplifying tones, or tomes rather, are going to be the reward for Hybrid Carry. That 400 gold opening kill in this game. We're only separated by a mere 100 gold. It's probably even less than that, just kind of tweaking onto that. And again, attention will go up to that top lane eventually. Those ganks were foiled, and it went back down to that mid lane. Big Bald and Thick now under pressure. Has to use the flash against Flame. Flame still not reset. Full health, and you can see how badly that matchup is for the Scion up there.
Yeah, getting the beat down, getting poked up, getting stunned, getting boulders tossed at him. So Espresso now knows no flash on that top side. Can look there to give Flame a good advantage against the Scion. Continue that lead here. The poke happening from the Drunk and the Orion as Vesper and Ordario getting pushed back here. But there's no dragon on the table. Hybrid carry's not here in the back, and they're gonna back in the bot lane. So that pressure not getting used just yet. And I mean, Dorado, as I said, they needed to get some early leads. So I want to see some plays being set up here. There might be one in the mid lane though.
Well, now level 6 is achieved for both of the mid laners. So Rubber Ducky Gaming and Dorado Gaming Epsilon. Victor just looking to reset. Both of them used the teleport as well to get back to lane after that first reset. And Victor gets that one off. He's going to walk back to lane. Be a little bit late. Espresso is hovering up here in the top lane, but you can see that ward from the Scion. Might not matter here, though, because Flame's going to slow him down. Remember, no flash onto the Scion. Actually interrupts the ultimate from Scion with the hop. Flame hop, skipping a jump to a kill accompanied by Espresso. That top lane synergy with the jungler. We're starting to see glimpses of it.
That was beautifully done. The bait in from Flame as well. Big Ball just wanted that max Q damage. Ended up costing him his life. And that is also that extension of that lead for Flame. And that's going to provide a lot of pressure in the game if they can keep that up. Meanwhile, Dorado, they haven't really found much besides that first blood here. Bot side is ahead in CS, but I want to see some more activation on the Thresh, as well as this Ezreal poke here.
That mental game, like you already mentioned, the Thresh, even just holding on to that hook, letting the enemy outplay themselves is usually the best way to play that. But you can see there's a bit of a rotation here to try and claim this first dragon of this best of 5 Summoner's Rift game opening 1. And so far, it looks like Dorado are here. Yeah, they got 4 members. This is going to go uncontested for now, but Espresso is here. He's hit Blade and Stampede. He's hit the Ghost as well. We're going to see an engage. That Grand Entrance is going to land on 2 from Ordaro. Still falling out, but Hybrid carry. Oh, great stun again from Espresso. He's just a bullet train. Picking up 2. Tough Daddy and Orion. They get the dragon, but they lose 2 members.
And that trade is starting to create a gold lead here for the side of Rubber Ducky Gaming. And they're the team that I said should not be ahead in this early game. They don't get that dragon, but they get the kills, and so they're just way ahead of schedule. I think they weren't ever going to get that dragon anyway, and now they're just getting extra strength onto Espresso, who I outlined is a good carry for this team.
Well, it looks like Espresso has had his coffee this evening. He's off to the races, 3-0-1 on this Udyr, and I believe he's still yet to reset 1,000 gold. Sitting on the jungler of Rubber Ducky Gaming, big, bold, and thick. Not going to get interrupted and pushed to the terrain. He's just going to eat another boulder. Tough Daddy. Taking the fight against Red Honda. And this is what the Victor wants to do. He just wants to scale up, get those glorious evolution passives off. Tough Daddy! Oh, baby! Vesper hits it on the nail.
That was a snipe from the base as well. Just not paying attention to the rocket or that possibility there. And Rubber Ducky Gaming secure themselves a massive early game lead. And I'm really worried for Dorado here because their team fight is not going to be able to match. And so when it comes to these objectives, they're just going to get completely dominated by this Jinx and Udyr combo.
Oh, and Tough Daddy ate that rocket right down the middle of the rift there, splitting the map and landing on the mid laner. That's something that you need to take into consideration. Anytime that you're low on the map, you better believe Vesper is hunting for you. The American sniper down there in the bot side, and Jinx has got our first kill of this game. Slight CS lead over the Ezreal, but it's very close, and Ezreal doesn't mind that at all. Rift Herald, your favorite, Crims, going to be started up here by RDG.
They're going to take it, and I'm hoping they're going to send it bot lane here. This control from Flame, exactly what they should be doing here. And as far as I'm concerned, Lamb, way ahead of schedule. So Rubber Ducky Gaming, great position right now.
Well, that gold lead spells that 3,000 in favor. Not even 10 minutes on the clock yet. And we'll start to see those mythics very shortly. Usually around the 12-minute mark is when we'll see those. And you can see for Espresso, he's probably going to get there a lot quicker than anybody else. This Udyr is having a phenomenal game. Now got that Rift Herald as well. And you already said that you want to see this dropped in the bot lane. Do you think that's exactly where Espresso is heading here, Crims?
He's pathing towards it. I think he wants a reset, so I mean, they could just go for it if they feel like they have the tempo. They feel like they have the speed to make up for it here. And it looks like that is the game plan. They're going to need some push here as Flame does not have TP and neither does Red Honda. So this could be a bit of a risk if they overforce going for this Rift Herald on the bot side. But I see a ping going down and I'm wondering, oh, Red Honda just gets caught though.
Yeah, flashes out his gravity field. Combination going to land as well. There goes Scar the Way. Red Honda still walking away. 10% health on him. Returned by Espresso. The Fed jungler still not reset. Doesn't mar like a heavyweight bouncing off the canvas. Picks up another double kill.
Just running straight through them, and they can't do anything to this Udyr. Espresso massive right now. 5-0-1 and can just take on anyone in the game. And it's unfortunate Tough Daddy was not in range to get that ultimate down onto Red Honda. I think he should just flash for it earlier, and that would have gone so much better.
Well, funneling the Victor now to reward them of that worthy attempt. You could see Infliction and Hybrid carry. He got that Swirl Seed onto the Victor, got the flash out with the mid laner as well, but just doesn't have enough damage to follow that one up. And who else but Espresso babysitting that mid lane to make sure that that's not going to fall. Red Honda again, bait of the century. We'll see if that turns out. You can see the assists for the mid laner. 5-0-1 for the Udyr and 5 assists on the Victor is not bad synergy the top side of the map. And take a look at the inventory of Espresso right now. He completed his demonic embrace and there's a very particular item next to that here, Grims.
Yeah, it looks like he's a studied learner as well as the Magi Soul Stealer. And he's taken a lot of souls already in this game. Flame, the pressure mounting on Big Bald here. Gonna get a plate as well. And yeah, the Scion has just been consistently low HP. The next dragon is up, and now the win condition for Dorado can't even be completed. I don't think they can get near any dragon right now. And the strength of Red Honda, the strength of Espresso is going to completely wipe any team fight if Dorado tries to take it. So they're going to have to give this up, and they're going to have to look for some picks. They have to activate the Orion, find some angles with Tough Daddy to get those complete burst kills. Otherwise, Dorado, you're going to be losing game number 1.
Dragon objective is going to be tied up here as well. In the saving grace for Dorado Game and Epsilon is they did take that first dragon of the game right around the 7-minute mark. So they're not going to have to fend off that threat of a soul early on in the game. It delays a little bit more time, and of course that objective gets the best out of everybody. Either provides a response or gets you accelerated beyond belief, and we're seeing a good hop from Flame. The dodge to knock up a Big Bold and Thick. That flashing now back up for the Scion, but it looks like Flame just gonna complete the Nard bar. He's gonna go big and just clear out the rest of those caster minions.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for the all-in there, but decided not worth it. Trinity of Force build from Flame, so this is going to be a huge spike right now in damage for the Gnar, and as well for his all-in. So we'll see if Flame can find a solo bolo up there. Certainly has the capabilities. Espresso, though, wants to make this an unfair fight.
Well, here he comes, the Ram. Might not be able to get on this one. Yeah, Big, Bold, and Thick. Described by his name there, he's big. Sion's bold. And he's pretty thick with that shield that comes out. So he's going to be just fine. Still holding on to that flash. He did use the teleport to just get back to lane. And you can see already, he can't even walk up. The amount of poke that comes out with Flame is just so hard to deal with.
Also, the fact that Flame can just consistently chase you down with the hyper. Red Honda is a level up on Tough Daddy. And looks like they're trying to find an angle here in Hybrid.
Dorado gets the quickness off as well. Hybrid carry for sure is going to drop here in the red side of his jungle. Mega Death Rocket lands on Tough Daddy, gets slowed with a laser as well. Chaos Storm going to come out and follow the Syndra. Red Honda gets the area proc as well. Is going to drop Tough Daddy. The Orion now being enthused and chased out of the blue side of the jungle. Espresso just going to opt for the Wolves though. And once again, Rubber Ducky Gaming flexing their muscles in this game.
Rubber Ducky Gaming 10-1. They are 7k up. I mean, oh, that hook goes wide. They are just completely dominating the map here. And they're just going to be able to sink any objective I mean, if Baron comes up, they can do that. Of course, they can pick up the remaining dragons. They have so much pressure on the side lane turrets, and now that the plates are gone, these things are going to fall like flies.
Red Honda is the gravity field down. Hybrid
Espresso's
carry,
here.
no turret for safety, which means Espresso. Yeah, he's going to knock him down there. 6th kill of the game for the Udyr. And he's having a wonderful game. And throughout that last skirmish here, Crims, there was a solo kill up there in the top lane for Flame, actually dropping the Scion as well. So that went unnoticed.
Yeah, it just gets that as well. And they're just picking up everything, growing that gold lead. 9,000 just about. Vesper is going to be fine. Went for the Gale Force on Jinx. I guess wants extra dodges. Should have enough damage in the game anyway. Not the biggest fan of the Gale Force Jinx, but I guess you're just so far ahead in this game, you're going to have the damage regardless.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried about throwing this game just yet, but more interesting things have occurred in the Conqueror season. It'll take a monumental effort actually from Rubber Ducky Gaming to get out of control of this game. This game is certainly getting away from Dorado, so backs to the wall. You need to try and absorb the pressure, stem the bleeding a little bit. You got the benefit of equaling out those dragons here, Crims, but that window of opportunity is shrinking, and it's shrinking fast for the side that is being so phenomenal throughout this whole season. So again, still in with the shout. I mean, until that Baron, of course, comes up in about 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes to that. But the next dragon will be the focus here, and that's probably going to be claimed by RDG. They're actually walking in the south side of the river now, and that vision game is fully online.
Yep, they're clearing it out, and it's hard for Dorado to step up here. So, I mean, there's not that many options left in them. That window you're talking about is minuscule. It is very small. And there's only a few ways that Rubber Ducky Gaming are going to lose this one. Looks like the fight might commence here, as we're seeing a lot of players converge in this jungle for Dragon. And Dorado, I mean, they have to recognize there's just no way they can get this. So going for a kill on Flame is probably the trade, and the only trade that you can do right now.
We'll see what the response is, and Flame can tell you that there's going to be no response from the Scion once again. Flame with the foot up there. Syndra's actually going to walk up there. Tough Daddy looking to try and get onto the Gnar. Who again is about 30 CS ahead of the opposing top laner in this one. Heartsteel just completed for Big Bold and Thick. And again, these mythics, they're coming pretty slowly for the side of Dorado, but they are funneling the CS. They are keeping the numbers up. They are far behind when you look at it in terms of the jungle aspect. I mean, Espresso is just on a different planet right now. Drunk gets away from that knock up from Mordaro. That's a very rare one that doesn't land.
Mordaro just playing zone right now, as they're securing jungle objectives, and they're just going to be gunning for this turret here. 4 versus 4, and I don't think Dorado can stand. They have good zone though.
Hook is not taken by Orion. That might have been a one-way trip. The ultimate comes out from Jinx just for some damage. They try and siege on that second tier in the bot lane, but again, the saving grace going to be for Dorado that the Baron is not up yet. Otherwise, that turret might have been under a little bit more threat. So again, they stem the bleeding just slightly, and Drunk looking to try and get level 11. Actually going to leave that wave to Tough Daddy. And Syndra now has the Leandris, Lilia the same, and you can see that Bambi's game is just not got off to a great start in this one, Crims. It just looks like there's Lilia a little bit out of the comfort zone, it's looking like.
Well, I think we all know the weakness of deer, and that's going to be bears as well as tigers. Oh my, here as Flame chasing down Big Bald yet again. The Gnar damage, that percent health now clocking in huge chunks of HP off this Scion. And I mean, we're just waiting for this Baron here. 30 seconds in, Flame might die in the meantime though.
They're gonna try. And Lilia now with that mythic, gonna get a teleport.
Red Honda coming.
Red Honda. There's a teleport gonna be returned. That might be Tough Daddy.
Oh, Espresso's here on the flank.
Gonna be here. Espresso trying to get round the back. He puts to sleep, and Jake's gonna get the kill. The Orion's still on the front line. That Zap's gonna go through as well. Slow him down. Big Bold and Thick has to go into the Death Realm. He's gonna bounce back though. Vesper tanks a turret shot. True shot. Barrage lands. Drunk gets one back. Drops the opposing AD carry. Very close fight. Both of the bot lane actually dying there from RDG, but it looks like they're still going to start up that Baron because Espresso is still here.
They have percent health damage on the Gnar as well as the Udyr here, so they're still going to go for it. 2 members down on the side of Dorado, just respawning. Oh, the timing's going to be close. Tough Daddy going to try to zone them off as best he can, but he's going to succumb to the Gnar. And Flame picks up another kill. They get the Baron. They don't get it on Vesper, but I am not going to complain about that. 15 to 3, 12k up. They have a Baron. They're going for the end.
You can see why Tough Daddy thought that might be inviting, because he interrupted the hop from Gnar. But Flame says, I have a flash, and I have an ultimate ready and waiting, sets it up and drops the Syndra. Fourth death of the game for the mid laner of Dorado Gaming Epsilon. And now that Baron power play, Sauntry remembers that it's going to be fully online. Looks like Ordaro. Drunk's going to get away from that one. Still holding on to the flash, though.
Ordaro just looking for that nice engage with Espresso as well as Flame. And that'll be a nice cleanup for them here. Vesper is a little far from this. Espresso is really pushing his lead here. Orion just getting chunked. Oh, it's a free kill.
Jumps him and goes legendary in this game. RDG, they're waiting for that wave. They're syncing up. Gnar on the bot side. The 4-1 now online. Can this be withstood from the side of Dorado Gaming Epsilon? You got to feel that this turret is moments from falling here, Crim.
They have that Baron up cannon minion working away. Just needs a few more shots. Still alive, hanging in there. The poke is not going to land. Tough Daddy finally going to slay the hero canyon minion. But Flame is on that side. And he is going to be able to open up this map here. They're trying their best to zone. They're laying a lot of poke down. Oh, and that's Roll Seed. If they hit 3, I think that was the move for Dorado. Ain't going to get a better time than that. Baron minions surviving, and Espresso says this time for the turret to fall. Flame on the flank.
Flame gets a Gnar bar on, knocks 2 into the meat grinder. The rest of the team, Rubber Ducky Gaming. Oh, eat the rocket as well. Sion thought he was out of that one. Big, bold, and thick. Not going to live. Drops for the 4th time in this game. Mid, lane, and Hibber are going to drop. That's going to be the bottom as well. Tough Daddy burning. They got a burned up minion wave. Scallywig lands as well. Red Honda hits the stasis and drops Tough Daddy in the 1v1. That's going to be equaled out. Syndra will get one back. Drunk against the world, and it looks like he's sobering up, because this series just got heated for the side of Dorado as they lose out on game 1.
Rubber Ducky Gaming. Turning it up. I was going to say Elysium Blaze because you keep saying hot, there's flame. Just make me think of Blaze here as Rubber Ducky Gaming. After slaying everyone on their side of the bracket, are going to be turning it up in game number 1. An absolute domination in this game. They cutting it real short at 23 minutes in. And Dorado Gaming, they have to make some adjustments because that did not look even close.
Oh, not close. I mean, once they grabbed hold of that game through Espresso, it's pretty hard for them to even get back in that game, even if they tried, Crims. Right, we were talking about that window. The draft certainly didn't allow that to happen. And, you know, when you think about it, like, that is such a bold statement to lay down in game 1 of the finals. Like, this is 2 of the best firing teams, free firing teams that we've seen all season long. And Rubber Ducky Gaming come out just guns a-blazing in game 1. They take it with such ease, but will that be the trend going forward? Because now Dorado Gaming Epsilon, this might be the wake-up call that they needed.
Yeah, I think they're going to be waking up to that slap across the face that is game 1 here. And 2 things. I don't think that they were able to utilize the Thresh very well as Ezreal. They didn't get a huge lead on that bot side. They try to make a play mid lane, which is totally viable, and they get first blood with it. So that was a good look, but they really needed to dodge Espresso on this Udyr. And man, Espresso just all over the map, getting kills. And that dragon was so devastating early game, just not respecting the level 6. And I mean, if Hybrid had level 6 himself, that would have been a much better turnout, but just slow on the clears. That death for the first blood really did affect, had down the line on that game, butterfly effect coming in there. And so Dorado If you're gonna go for an early game playstyle like this, you're gonna have to be able to execute it better.
I'm sure they will come back bouncing back here, Crims, because they're here for a reason. This is the final. They've thoroughly deserved to be here, and I'm looking forward to see what they got cooking still for us here in the Conqueror Leagues. Because it's not over, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over just yet. This is a best of 5, and that's only game 1. Usually they iron out the creases, Crims, and then they get a feel for what they're up against, and they are up against it. This immovable object that is Rubber Ducky Gaming gunning for the Conqueror Championship this season, and they're in hot pursuit, taking game 1 in such style. But guys, we're going to cut to a small break, and when we come back, more Conqueror action in the final. But remember, those clips are still being debated on who's going to get the most views for theirs. I know for a fact. Again, look, Crims, Barbados sounds really good at this time of the year. Let me tell you, actually, all the way through the year. Barbados, I can see you shaking your head. That's fine.
Look, you're
guys,
obsessed. I don't know what's wrong with you. Something's taking a hold.
It's I don't know what it is. Basically, I hope that plane ticket's taking a hold. But guys, we're gonna cut to a small break. When we come back, we'll get in souped up and prepared for game 2. Don't go anywhere. welcome back, guys. You know we wouldn't leave you hanging that long. We got more action on its way very, very shortly here, Crims. We're expecting some sort of response from Dorado Gaming Epsilon. There has to be a response. There's no excuses not to have a response into that game one, because by Dorado standards, that was very subpar.
Yeah, Dorado usually do a lot better. They do often find themselves behind in the early game, but they snap back most of the time. However, in this game, it's really hard to come back after just the complete domination that was there. Plus, their draft doesn't allow them to do so. And so this blind pick Jinx, I think the response from Dorado, I'm not going to say was the answer. Need to pick a champ that either dominates harder than the Jinx or is going to outscale. So this Ezreal Thresh into Jinx makes a lot of sense. That's fine. But the Ezreal, I don't see where that's going. So I think they need to rethink that part at least, or just go a complete different strategy here. Maybe play a heavy bot side dominating draft. The Lilia, the Ezreal, not the answers.
Not the answers they were looking for, and still that equation remains unsolved thus far for Dorado. They need to give us something juicy. Go for the throat. Let's see what you've been preparing all season for this stage. Ezreal, certainly not a champion that can do that. Again, we look at the staggering amount of AD carries that have come along and come a long way in the meta this season. Ezreal, not really one in contention. Varus comes to mind. Jhin comes to mind. There's so many different ones. I mean, for God's sake, even Caitlyn. Anything to try and answer this Jinx, because it feels like Ezreal right now doesn't have that picture-perfect punch like a champion like Jinx does. So again, maybe change up an AD carry, find out what's going to work for you. Of course, AP carry is a thing as well these days, so you can always go that route. So what they'll have cooking, we're about to find out shortly here, Crims. And if they are to change it up, especially, we already spoke about that bot lane. What about the mid lane? Tough Daddy, he was finding it tough out there for once.
It's just that juggle match of the 2v2 is not good for them there. The Lilia gets so outclassed early game in the Udyr. Lilia really shines at that 5v5 team fight, provides a lot of peel and group AoE, and they just were capitalized by Espresso on that Udyr, who knew
So
that
good.
could just run down these two champions here. They're so much stronger in that 2v2 because Udyr can take up all the damage. Victor provides the damage to two opponents at the same time. And so they got outclassed in that 2v2. They're supposed to, and they kind of just leaned too hard into killing or getting kills onto Tough Daddy, killing Red Honda on the Victor. So that's a mid-game adjustment that needs to happen from well. But that's just draft dependent. So either draft something stronger in that 2v2 or try to avoid plays like that in the future here, as this draft coming by like lightning here. The one adaptation is that Udyr change, and that is instead of that Bel'Veth, as Espresso just did so amazing on it. Dorado identify that. Jinx the blind pick here, and let's see if they do what I was talking about here, Lamb, because I did not like the Ezreal, so we'll see what Dorado pick this time around.
Dorado, Crims did not like the Ezreal, much like the fans as well. Don't pick that one. You heard it here first. RDG, they're going to run back the Jinx. They are on the blue side yet again. Dorado going to take away the Thresh. Again, that's another synergizing pick from Jinx. So it's really good into the Jinx if you can land those hooks. But again, very quiet game on that front from the Orion. And that's not really something that we've seen traditionally from this support. Usually very dominating in the way that you play that bot side. But they're certainly in a matchup. Certainly in a matchup with Vesper and Ordaro. They are very veteran when it comes to playing together as well. So the Rakan still available. They might look to run that one back, but I love the change up already. Jarvan going to be locked in instead of that Lilia for this game.
Jarvan pretty good at locking down the Jinx, and if you take away the Thresh, now a lot of options for Jinx to get out of the pit. Tom Kench is one of the champions that can do such a thing, so and that has not been banned away. So Rubber Ducky Gaming could go to something like a Tom Kench. Not the best support pick, but definitely a possibility. Bel'Veth does play into this J4, but it needs time. This is a scaling pick. J4, of course, can take control of the map a lot sooner and basically close the game out before Bel'Veth becomes a champion. So again, Dorado indexing towards early game here. They want to be playing aggressively on that bot side through their jungle now in this J4, and that's how they want to win.
And that Rakan is going to be picked up from Rubber Ducky Gaming. So second run at it from Vesper and Dorado. Nothing changes for them in that 2v2. We'll see which AD carry they want to take, and they're going to pick up the Twitch.
Okay, the Twitch. That's a lot better counter, Lamb. I talked about it game 1, and now in game 2, we have it here. The Twitch Thresh should be able to get kills onto this Jinx. Now, of course, Twitch has to worry about Rakan, but what AD carry doesn't have to worry about Rakan? They have peel tools with Thresh. If Twitch is in a bad spot, can get him out of there. And so Dorado say, Vesper, you're not going to play this game. And that's what they're going to be going for.
And Flame not going to get the opportunity to play that Olaf either. It's banned away yet again for game 2. And Poppy going to be returned for the side of RDG here. So already a massive change up in Dorado's perspective and the way that they want to try and win this game. And so far it synergizes really well. There's a lot of setup for this Twitch. And if you're not keeping tabs on the Twitch in the team fights, then he can certainly have a bigger say than anybody else. So we'll see how the 2v2 first of all is going to go and what priority is going to be given over to that bot lane, because the dragons here, Crims, it looks so good early on for Dorado, but that dragon was actually the catalyst to make them lose that game. So better decision making on the horizon for them at this draft.
Yeah, that dragon was the tipping point. It already wasn't going too swell, and that dragon really solidified a huge early lead for them. Seraphine going to be taken out, plus the Olaf. These champions do pair well together to make Twitch have a very difficult time. And so they are trying to protect the drunk here. As Dorado pick up the Ornn, again, more pressure onto Vesper in this draft, as well as a really good frontline that, you know, J4 isn't really a frontliner, more of that utility bot. And so Ornn's going to provide that tankiness for the team fight that inevitably will be happening in this game.
Well, yet again, this is a occasion where Flame could say, well, I'm going to take the Gnar again. It's not awful here, but again, you could go Tank Buster in itself and the Gwen, and it looks like Flame is going to get a solo carry in the form of that champion up there in the top side. So once again, just looking to take over that top lane and make sure that Ornn can't play the game. But Ornn is a different type of tank, right? He's not one to literally sit back and not trade with you. If you're not careful, you could end up on the receiving end of what you think is a favorable fight. And it looks like RDG going to handshake again. Syndra going to be locked in for them.
Yeah, a lot of tanks can fight in the early game, or else they'd just be completely useless as a champion. But Ornn's the one that people tend to underrate, and that's the one that bites people the most in that lane phase. You think, oh, Ornn, super scale champion, definitely not going to be able to touch. Oh, he just killed me in top lane solo bolo style. As we have the last pick remaining, I think a control mage would pair very nicely with that J4. If you keep him in the pit and you have something that's going to follow up on top, it's gonna be pretty disgusting as Rumble comes out here. Okay, there's a possibility, Lamb. There's a possibility. I don't know. There's a possibility that this Rumble actually goes mid lane, or is just gonna follow the Gwen around. So they're gonna try to have Ornn go mid lane, try to get this matchup, because Rumble does really good into this Gwen. Makes it very hard for her to get away. And also the Rumble does have that AoE damage paired up with the J4 and an Ornn ultimate. So if someone gets caught out, particularly a champion that has lots of guns, it's going to be rough for them to play this game.
Hey, well, and you can see what they're trying to do here is basically Operation Delete Jinx off the rift. J4 Cataclysm, Thresh for the peel actually is pretty good here as well, but again, we look towards that top lane. I mean, it looks really good on paper, don't get me wrong. I mean, the ultimate from Rumble, everything, the AoE abilities, they go across the board and they do so much damage. If those team fights happen for Dorado, it's going to be very explosive for them and they should be able to take over it successfully. But that's not factoring into the equation that we have such an amazing top laner on the side of Rubber Ducky Gaming. This Gwen might not want a team fight at all, Crims. Might just want to consistently push those sides. And if the other team, if the rest of the team, not the other team, they have to oblige as well. But if everybody's on the same page to make sure that Flame can do his thing in this game, it's a very different perspective of Dorado that then they need to adapt again. But the Twitch with the invis, keeping tabs on him is going to be so key in this. So a lot of micro decisions have to be made when it comes to approaching these objectives, when it comes to approaching the fog of war in this game. And the stakes are high. I mean, any mistake and it's severely punished.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of punishment here if you are stepping out of your bounds, because the J4, the Ornn, the Thresh are a lot of champions that are going to be gunning for you, as well as for the side of the Drunk on this Twitch, is going to want to find really good angles, but if you get caught by this Rakan Syndra Jinx, you're going to die immediately, and that's going to be a snowball fight for that Jinx instead. So they're going to have to provide a lot of protection for the Twitch. But on the flip side, Rubber Ducky Gaming, something to highlight here, they don't have a frontliner. Bel'Veth front lines through damage and the scaling on her E, but that takes time. And in these mid-game fights, they're basically going to be operating off full burst. So if they don't really get a good angle, if they don't get a way to kill someone right away, they're going to be completely tanked up, and then Twitch is going to send them.
I think that's a really good point, and that Hallowed Mist from the Gwen can only do so much. Of course, it's going to be really good against the Twitch, but against the Jarvan, if he goes in onto the Gwen, there's absolutely no chance that you're surviving that. I mean, you're locked up, and then the Rumble, of course, is going to get on top of that as well. So this Rumble pick intrigues me, Crim, so much. We have spoke so highly about Tough Daddy this season. In game 2, he's down a game and he's bringing out the Rumble here. How do you think this fares into the composition that Rubber Ducky Gaming have got?
Okay, so they're pairing the Rumble in the mid lane up to Red Honda. So Rumble still wins either lane. I was thinking that they would use it to hold down the Gwen, and Ornn can try to survive the Syndra, but that's maybe a bit of some crazy thoughts creeping into my brain here. But this Rumble, I mean, there is not a lot of mobility for the Syndra and the Jinx. Everyone else has mobility, but that's the two that you actually want to target here. So the Rumble pick is going to be a strong early game pick that can do that, as well as has a lot of push power that could roam into the bot lane and make things very troublesome. So I think the Rumble pick does make sense. Again, early game comp from Dorado. They have to execute on this, otherwise they're going to get outscaled. Bel'Veth will eventually be able to survive in the front line long enough for all this damage to come through from the Syndra, Gwen, Bel'Veth, and Jinx. So this is a skill for Rubber Ducky Gaming here. However, I don't think it's going to be very likely for them because there's just not a lot of tools for them in the early game. I think Dorado are going to take this one.
Oh, so you're already giving the prediction. All right, Crims, you just skip past the script. I have this beautiful script written where I ask you for your prediction. You just give me it anyway. That's a hot take right
I gotta
there.
keep you on your toes, Lamb. I don't want you to get bogged down in a cycle, in a formula. We gotta switch it up, okay? Something exciting has gotta happen. So that's why I said my prediction early for you to talk about your prediction and where you're headed.
Wait, what was your prediction again?
We'll go back to that later. So.
Okay, so it's one and done. So Dorado, okay. Yeah, I gotta side with you. I gotta think that Dorado have got enough in the tank to bounce back in. Look, Trims, there's no secret. Lamb wants game 5. I want game 5. Yeah. I'm sure the people watching, they want game 5 as well. But to find out if it goes to game 5, before I actually say that, if you like clips, if you like competitive. Actually, Crims, do you like competitive League of Legends? You gotta like competitive. Of course you do. Okay, so if you like competitive League of Legends, then the sign-ups are already open for Divinity and Conqueror for next season. You want to take part, you want to be right here where me and Crims go back and forth and talk about you and talk about your team, then you need to sign up, man. You need to be here. And of course, we have a all-inclusive holiday that's won everything. Look, I say it over and over again. It's getting a little bit dry. It doesn't really matter. Clip competition, predictions, and we'll see you right after this for game 2 of the final. Welcome back. That was a bit of a delay, but we apologize about that. Do we? Nothing. Riot Games, you owe us our time back. Thank you for such a scuffed client. Crims, you got to agree with me on this one, but we're not here to talk about Riot Games. We're here to talk about the two teams on Summoner's Rift right now, and one of them is under the cosh. One of them gets a flash out of the drunk that early on. Dorado trades hits for the AD carry.
And Orion leveled Lantern. That is not an ideal start. Flash and Lantern level 1 is going to be pretty rough to handle. And so that means Vesper or Dario is going to have some pretty good pressure level 1 that they normally wouldn't have. Looks like Hybrid Carry is going to start on the top side. Now, if he does the Raptor start, that is fine. Can solo start that? No problem. Looks like they're taking the safe way around Lamb because they have no vision and they don't know if that's going to be safe. As both junglers starting the same side yet again.
Well, the fact that Ryan, he takes that dark passage first time means that they can't face check that, and they won't. They'll still get to lane on time, and Rakan and Jinx not showing right now to make sure that they have to try and predict where the jungle is going to start. But as we can see, there's actually Ward giving information of where Espresso is going to start game 2 here. So Hybrid Carry going to have full awareness of the opposing jungler here, and we'll see what he can do with that information as he's looking to transition into that mid lane.
Oh, here we go. Level 2 gank. Quite cheeky. Does get a flash. Red Honda forced to burn flash and level 1. And now, I mean, they're going to know exactly where Hybrid Carry is going. They're going to know his full path, and they're going to know that there could be a J4 heading bot side.
Okay, good knock up from Dorado, but again, that dark passage is going to get a Twitch to safety. That's a good example, even though that flash from the Twitch probably keeps him alive, that you don't level up anything prior to getting into lane to know exactly the circumstances surrounding that one. So we'll see. These flashes still down on the drunken Dorado for a little bit here, and can they get anything done? Once again, paying attention, the J4 cutting across that mid lane. They should know that both sides of the jungle right now, they're on the same side of the map.
Yeah, they're hanging out in the same region, but big difference here. Espresso has a full clear, while Hybrid is going to have a partial clear here. Big Ball trading up with Flame up on the top side, and now it looks like Red Honda's got his wave into a pretty safe spot here, as you know, this wave is going to be frozen in. Hybrid Carry loops back up to the top side, and now, I mean, it's the only one who can get ganked right now really is Flame.
Looks like Rumble actually walking up there to protect Hybrid Carry and make sure they can get this skull without contest, and the same is going to be abided by Rakan and Jinx down there. Big Bald and Thig looking to get the reset off. Only 3 sets behind to the Gwen is not bad, but Gwen opting to take the ignite that we so traditionally see on these solo carry champions in that top lane. Taking the ignite against the Ornn is a pretty brave step in that direction, because once this game transitions, might prove a little bit too much for the ignite to actually tick on down on the Ornn. So maybe looking at a different focus for that one. And one thing I want to actually point out here, Crims, is Tough Daddy on this Rumble. Now, Rumble is a champion that, once again, you don't really see it that too often, but one thing that most people do is they underestimate how much that overheat damage can do.
It's a good bit of burst, and it's not something that's going to burst you completely in 1 second. It does take a bit of time, but it is a huge step up in damage. As they're looking for it here, they might have the setup. Oh, Hybrid Carry wasn't ready.
Oh, Big Golden Thig. The ignite goes down. Hallowed Mist comes out as well. Flag and Drag going to get Jarvan in melee distance. Espresso going to be babysitting the Gwen to make sure there's no follow-up with that one. And since using that flash in the mid lane, Hybrid Carry can't follow up anymore.
That was unfortunate. I think that was a kill, and that would have been first blood as well. Looks like here the push in from Syndra is happening now that the range is in order for Red Honda is going to be able to threaten Tough Daddy. And so far, no first blood, but small incremental CS advantage for the side of Rubber Ducky Gaming here. Remember, Dorado on the clock have to make a play. They can take their time a little bit, but they really need to activate this Twitch sooner or later.
And having such a powerful jungler in the form of Jarvan Means that that early game is that much more important. 5.5 on the clock, which means Dragon is going to be spawned on the Rift. Is going to start off with a Chemtech Dragon here. So once again, we'll see what kind of priority the teams put on that. Is most of the time that early game Dragon, it spells good things for you. If you want to try and get a different win condition in the game, you can definitely follow that up, or try and get a reaction out of the opposing team. And it looks like J4 looking for Red Honda again, still holding on to the Scar of the Week. So can't interrupt the flag and drag with that one. Tough Daddy going forward, flag and drag. Yeah, there's that combination that I just mentioned, and it's going to be disengaged.
Yeah, beautifully done. Red Honda would have been in dire straits right there. Flame's level 6, so Big Ball does not want that. Goes for a disengage here. Damage is going to pull through, but is going to be able to survive up here. And now this dragon has spawned. And I don't think Dorado can go for it here. Looks like the push is coming in. Hybrid carry playing towards the top side.
Equalizer goes down. Flash forward on a Red Honda. Flash going to be returned from the opposing mid laner.
Tough Daddy
gets the
low.
shield out as well. Royal Maelstrom not going to get the kill, and Espresso misses out on that one. So Flash is burned for no kills.
All right, Flame the wave is pushing. This is a huge wave as well. So big, in fact, that Flame is still level 6. Probably going to hit level 7 soon. And Big Bald is not even level 6 himself. So we'll see. They think that's a sign to take the Rift Herald? Or pressure for the Rift Herald here. I don't think that's a good idea. Because right now, Flame is just so much stronger than this Ornn. Wait, invade coming through?
Too. The wards are covering that pit, and Gwen goes across and gets a deep ward. Hybrid carry does know that Gwen is there. She's backing, so Ornn going to do the same thing here. Big, bold, and thick going to neutralize that wave as it bounces back and manages to get to level 6. So that's something going away from that one that Dorado are going to feel good about. Now that safety kind of comes into fruition. The Kindle Gem, now Magic Mantle going to help him out in that 1v1 a little bit more. And Ornn going to feel comfortable the more that this game goes on, and he's deathless up there in the top lane. But can't say the same for the rest of the composition. No action on the south side of Summoner's Rift right now, and like you already mentioned, Crims, that clock is ticking.
And the pressure is mounting for this Rift Herald here. And so they do something interesting. They swap up the Twitch, and they're going to go for a kill. Oh, they're trying to assassinate.
Oh, there's absolutely no chance now. They missed that flag and drag combination. No level 6 on the Twitch, which means no ultimate available for that extended range that comes with that. So the Drunk not going to get anything. They do rotate that bot lane up to the top side. So Ornn going to do the same. He'll be able to answer the Jinx and the Rakan. Not favoring that 2v2 matchup, or is this just a little bit of macro shenanigans going on for Shelly here?
Yeah, they really wanted to get this, so they pulled a macro trick. Espresso, though, doesn't want to trade, wants to fight into this.
Above and below, lands on the Drunk, made Death Rocket came in and try and get an assist as well. Equalizer going to get that one, going to donate over to the Twitch right now, and they're going to go knocked off. Oh, Daro, huge! Oh, actually, it wasn't even a knock, it was just a knock-up. My goodness, still level 5 on the Rakan, sets it up, and Flame picks up the double.
Oh, he just completely snipped right there.
Oh,
and I did not think that was going to happen. Oh, that is absolutely just heartbreaker for Dorado. And they were grouped up perfectly, the three of them, for that combo. And the Gwen damage comes through. Look at Flame, 3-0-1. And after all that macro, just to pick up the Rift Herald, you go ahead and you give away 4 kills on top of it. And it was looking so good up until that Ordaro roam-up just didn't have the timing on Dorado's to clean that fight up before he got there.
Following the same recipe as game 1, honestly. They commit for an objective. They are successful in taking that objective, but they are not successful in taking the team fight. And just like that, this game explodes into life for the side of Robert Ducky Gaming. And this Rakan is a problem. You need to try and deal with him. He's not even level 6 and he's still making it happen for them. Looks like they're trying to bait this one out, and Red Honda are going to accompany the Rakan for now. So that bait, it's not going to be accepted. They go fishing, don't catch a whole lot there. Don't going to go invis as well, but there's a ward in that brush, so that's going to be thwarted for now. And Ordaro going to try and shadow Espresso here. So far in this game, we're looking up to that top lane. He got the solo carry, and he's making it count.
Oh man, Big Ball just gonna have such a rough time in the Glen now. Hook gonna land on Espresso. No one's there to provide the damage. And they're just walking straight into this dragon. And that Rift Herald, I mean, you could use it to pull pressure, but they're not doing that right now. So they're just giving up this dragon for free. Oh, this might be bad.
If he gets the Lantern, he'll be good here. Actually gets deleted by Vesper. So the Jinx gets a kill there. Equalizer going to go down. Burn through Red Honda down to less than 50%. Oh, the Equalizer steals the dragon. Where was the smite?
Espresso didn't have it. Espresso didn't have it. The smite coming up right now. And I was not tracking when that was used. Looks like Espresso wants revenge. Isn't going to get any right now. And, well, Dorado, that's a small win in the bucket right now of losses that they've taken in this game. Because this 3K gold lead is definitely the most impactful thing on the map right now.
Well, little things like that might go against you. And gold lead still with a sided Rubber Ducky game in 3000 in the good. And really interesting that Tough Daddy actually gets that one. So it's not all doom and gloom thus far in the game. This early game is not going the way as planned. And now you got that CS discrepancy up there in the top lane to make it even worse for Big Bold and Thick. Gets a charge to safety, or does he? He's gonna have to use that flash again. There's so much threat of just dying here. There's a Jinx on the map. There's a rocket sailing straight for the yarn. And there he goes. Vesper hits 2 in 2 games.
Haven't they learned in game 1 that Vesper will be able to snipe you, especially if you're standing still as well? What a call out, not to mention. Vesper picks up another one, and that's a free kill, free 300 right there. Espresso gets the steal away. And the flash as well, Lamb. Rubber Ducky Gaming, Lamb, they're running away with this game again.
A lot of it is through Dorado. It's just permanent roaming from Rakan in this game, and it's so hard to deal with. It looks like the Dorado, they just don't have an answer for it, but they are going to drop the Herald in that mid lane, try and get some plate go back into the pockets of Rumble. He's going to get in on that one as well. Tough Daddy sends out a missile, only going to land onto the opposing support in this case. Big Bold and Thick. Bullet Forge has to go down. He's under threat of dying here. He's burning with the Ignite Flame. He's going to collect another one, and Espresso will get the assist.
He's picking up another kill right onto a major carry in Flame here. And meanwhile, Espresso is just so much faster in clears. It is scaling up beautifully, picking up the Blade of the Rune King before Hybrid Carry even gets a Gore Drinker. And now Dorado in a very, very similar spot to game number 1, where they just might be out of it already at 12 minutes yet again.
Yeah, it's an extra 1,000 piled on to that goal lead now. 5 in favor of Rubber Ducky Gaming. They've not let go of a gold lead thus far in the series. It is a best of 5, but they're looking to speedrun it straight to the Conqueror Championship right here, right now. So desperation might be setting in for the side of Dorado. If you lose the second game in a row here, Crims, that medal is going to be challenged so badly that it's going to be proven hard to come back from this. And I mean, it was a devastating loss in game 1. It looks to just be being repeated in game 2 here, unless they can do something about it. And we're yet to see Hybrid Carry make a play in that bot side.
Yeah, that's the one lane they really need to secure a win. Tough Daddy could just use the mid-game prowess in team fights on his own here. And the Drunk being behind is a very, very distraught thing for Dorado, because they need to out-damage this Jinx. And it's looking like that is not going to be the case here. 1 minute away from this dragon, and Dorado, I don't see how they can win this fight, because despite the fact that Rubber Ducky Gaming doesn't have a tank, they're just going to have enough damage to just completely slice through the team comp of Dorado.
That is a 3-level difference up there in the top lane. I believe it's just cut to 2 now. The Big Bold and Thick manages to absorb the experience from that wave. And it's such a gap. I mean, he's almost double the CS of the top laner 15 minutes into the game. And if this doesn't show you how good a player Flame is, I don't know what is. Yeah, it's a Gwen into the Orn, but making it happen, the understanding to take the fight in that north side of the river there as well is just so phenomenal. The game understanding from this individual has been so consistent, and it looks very hard to actually stop. Now, I go back to it, Crims. We were talking about those big team fights. That's what Dorado want. What don't Rubber Ducky Gaming want? I mean, they could take a fight at this point. It doesn't really matter. But the fact that they have that opportunity to send Flame into a side and forget about him is just another really tough win condition for Dorado to actually answer to. With that dragon on the board right now, that might be their next focus here with teleport up on Flame.
Yeah, Flame just can side lane if he wants, can just completely dominate a team fight if he wants as well. So options are available to this Gwen, and that's really the strength that they can leverage right now. Looks like they're going for a play on the Riding Drunk.
It looks like the engage went through, but it didn't land onto the Thresh. Big, bold, and thick has to get away from that one. Managed to kill the rest of this wave, and Flame will tank a turret shot for good measure. Dragon going to be started up. Flag and Drag already used. Hydro carry above and below. Going to knock him off. That hook goes out on a Espresso. But an Endless Banquet going to be activated as well. That's another kill over to the Jinx. Soon charge into the wall. Knocks out Flame. Needle War comes out and just decimates the health bar. That's the Orion getting caught out now. And really, Rubber Ducky Gaming sailing away with it.
Yeah, they're on the high seas, and they're making headway to Titan Championship. And it doesn't look like Dorado have what it takes in game number 2 to stop them. 2 stomps in a row. The mental has to be compounding here for Dorado. And I thought that they were going to win this draft, Lamb. I thought that they've set themselves up a good enough early game comp that they could make plays around bot side and get themselves a win. And that's not how at all this game went. And now Rubber Ducky Gaming, 17 minutes in, have basically outscaled, have tremendous forms of damage, where this tank factor is going to be completely negated. And not to mention, they're just picking up kills left and right. They're the ones getting picks, and it's not the Thresh plus the J4 plus the Twitch. And that's just the only way they could win this game, and that's been taken off as well. So, Lambda morale, this has to be an all-time low.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to bounce back when the odds are not stacked in your favor. Is there light at the end of the tunnel for Dorado Gaming Epsilon? Rarely put a foot wrong all season long, but they are up against it in this absolute machine. Almost Terminator status in the form of Rubber Ducky Gaming, who now have cemented an 8,000 gold lead and don't look like slowing down just yet as we approach 18.5 into the game. That Baron is 130 away, so they could be looking to get the heights of the first game. I mean, honestly, Crims, they had a mountain to climb and they've scaled that peak already.
They're way over it. They basically cleared that mountain. No problem. I mean, again, we're doing the same thing game 1, Lamb. We're just waiting for that 20-minute mark because there's going to be a big old Baron there for the taking as a Dorado. And they've gone for these early game comps. I think game 3, they're going to change up their strategy. They're going to go for some scaling here. This mid lane looking like it's going to be crumbling under the might of Vesper there. Getting minion blocked by his own team. Plus, the little voidlings from Espresso there. That's kind of funny. As we're 40 seconds away to what I assume to be the Baron coming soon.
Big purple worm, purple shrimp, any kind of seafood you want. It's a meal that's going to entice Espresso to go along with that cup of espresso. I mean, he is hitting the heights so far. Very good play coming out from the jungler of Rubber Ducky Gaming. Game 1, all espresso, all flame, all good things. Don't come to an end here. They don't want it to come to an end. And Espresso gonna get that reset off. 10 seconds on that all-important Baron, which might spell the 2-0 in this series. Unless, Crims, unless Dorado Gaming Epsilon, they still have some fight in them to get back into this game. Mythics are now coming across the board. Jaxo completed for the Orn. Whether or not that's going to help too much into the Belvet, the Syndra, the Jinx, who is 3-0-2, by the way. Vesper just breezing through this series once again. deserve deservedly needs a mention too. That this Jinx is just standing by collecting the gold and saying, well, hey, wait a minute, this Baron's going to be started up and I'm going to get in on this too. They got 5 strong. Rubber Ducky Gaming Scar the week lands onto the jungler, most important target right there. Quickness goes down as well. Going to get the dark passes to safety. They're going to turn their attention to Tough Daddy. He's not tough no more. He gets deleted, big, bold and thick. Not with the rest of his team. Hybrid carry down to about 25% health. Oracle goes out from Orion, but that's just to lay a witness statement that this Baron is going to go over a Rubber Ducky Gaming, or is it? Could that still happen? They're going to knock up the Orion, the Thresh, walking in range. They're going to turn back on the big, bold and thick. They're just running them out of town. Rubber Ducky Gaming get 2, and they're turning back around for the 3rd time for that Baron.
Yeah, they could just keep doing this rinse and repeat, and they're probably just going to keep getting kills because Dorado, I mean, they're in a position where they have to check. They're being forced. And now they get those kills, they turn it around, look towards this Baron, and they're going to pick it up easy and clean. If there's one thing we can appreciate from Rubber Ducky Gaming is they do not delay in closing out a game here because they're not afraid to just pick up this Baron, start it, pull the face checks from the Dorado and go for these clean executes here. And they could go for this dragon. I hope they go for some turrets first. They have plenty of time and they don't need a delay as Tough Daddy is looking mighty dead yet again. 0-3 on this rumble.
Looking pretty tough out there on the roof. And that overheat.
You mean rough?
It's rough tough for Daddy. Whoa, wait a minute. They're fighting the top lane. Or might be looking to go down again. Gwen gets him down. Flame still spitting him out. Looking to cut him down. He's burning with the ignite. He dances the best he can, but it's not going to help him in that case. Flame is dominating in this game. Flame could Flame Horizon the opposing top laner here, Crims. He's very close. He's closing in on that.
It's getting there. Maybe a couple more minutes. The game might be over before the Flame Horizon is completed, Lamb. That's how dominant Rubber Ducky are in this game. Flame, I think, hunting for another kill as we have Espresso going in for the engage.
Mr. Thresh, Mr. Orion lives.
Ooh, okay,
Mercy
makes it out.
is being given over. At this rate, it doesn't even matter. They can brute force these turrets all they want. They got that split push going on now. Unconventional 3-1-1 right across the board, but they're making it happen. Espresso now going to join 3 members of the team. He's going to eat a hook from the Orion. He eats a Scar of the Week. Call it a Fudge going to go on the best, where he's only less than 50%. That's going to be the equalizer.
They get one.
The Jinx. They get 1. Okay, a little bit of fight back here. It's about time we've seen this. Big Bold and Thick taking the fight 1v2. Neither one coming out from Flame. He's went a little bit too far. He might be in trouble here. Tough Daddy got the damage. Big Bold and Thick. Flame's still alive. He gets shut down by the opposing top laner. Hybrid carry though. Game 1 back on the Rakan. And Red Honda will clean that mess up. They go very close, but the Baron's still here. Espresso and Red Honda looking to push in for those. Nope, they're going to back that one off because Twitch has returned to Summoner's Rift.
All right, Dorado, they have some life in them, and they're struggling. They're not going to go down without a fight. However, I don't think that's going to happen again. Next time around, they're probably going to lose more. They did lose an inhib, and they didn't even really win the fight. So I'm just going to take Cope right out. This is a doomer game if you're a Dorado fan.
Their optimism. Do we have any believers? Any believers? That's what we
I don't think they're
need
going to say anything now.
No, I wouldn't
Lamb.
say anything either.
Yeah.
This is tuck the tail between the legs and let's go game 3, baby. We run it back. Those silver scrapes are ringing in the ears, ring a ding ding, but you can say that this is only ringing in one form of direction. Tough Daddy, Dark Passage safety, Unleashed Power goes out and that takes him down enough to get the message across that Syndra very powerful in this game too. Now fully stacked. Serf's Embrace. So again, the more damage is coming out from the squad. I mean, just across the board, Crims. Now Rabadon's is on the verge of being completed for Flame here. There's just so much damage. They can just brute force and kill as many as they can. Even after that skirmish, they're still at least 12,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, they could lose a couple team fights in a row and still be up in the game. They're trying to get these last turrets down. They have Flame working that top one. Does get it. And now Big Bald is in trouble because that turret was his protection. Meanwhile, mid laner going for the engage.
Yeah, Hybrid Carry hits the Desperation button, gets two, is going to be left to the Wolves there. He gets cut down, and it comes Flame to clean up.
Deleted.
He doesn't clean up, he sets fire to the whole damn building with a triple kill, and this looks for certain. Rubber Ducky Gaming are going to secure game 2. They go within 1.
All right, just the last seconds before that Nexus falls. Rubber Ducky Gaming. This is a strong showing in game 1 and game 2. And Lamb, you were hoping for that best of 5. You better do all the magic and tricks that you can. Start praying. I don't know what other stuff you have, because you need to use all your power to get a game 3 win for Dorado.
I mean, there's no Bon Jovi, but we're certainly living on a prayer for the case of that happening. It is just seemed like this is not what I expected, Crims. It's not. It looks like Dorado are still sleeping. They've not even woken up to the fact that this is a final. They're just that slow out the gates, and it hurts to actually see this coming to fruition. But there's still a game 3 that either way has to be won by Dorado. If not, this is a clean sweep all the way to the final for Rubber Ducky Gaming.
Yeah, I think Dorado might be a bit hungover. That's they're not doing too hot right now. Meanwhile, Rubber Ducky Gaming looking squeaky clean right after a shower, and so not looking good. Dorado, I hope you got some tricks or something, magic, curses. Something. Bring it out right now.
He really wants some magic. He wants magic to come from somewhere.
Yeah, I want magic.
He wants. He's had enough of this.
Something. It has to be something not of the normal, the normal realm. It has to be supernatural. That is the only way I see this having a comeback. Look, I mean, I guess if you have performance enhancing drugs, I don't advocate them, but I don't advocate them, but something's got to happen.
Going through that rabbit hole, anything and everything to try and get Dorado back into this series, into contention for the Conqueror title. But every game is basically our best of 1 for them, and they've lost 2 in quick succession. Actually, record timing. This has got to be on record for the quickest final in Conqueror history. But once again, guys, can they get back in? Well, that's ultimately the question that we're asking. Can they get back into it? Rubber Ducky Gaming, that train is about to reach the station, which is Conqueror Championship. They've been beaming for it all season long. Dorado Gaming Epsilon, they're up against it. Backs against the wall, but they have to come out all guns a-blazing. Can they do it? Can they get back into this? Will there be silver scrapes? Stay tuned right after this as we get prepared for game 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this very unconventional finals. 2-0 to the good is RDG. Crims, we've already mentioned that it's all to do. They have to get the finger out. And really, for Dorado, there's nowhere else to turn. There's nowhere else to go but forward. You have to try and pick up some momentum. And for God's sake, get involved in the bot lane and make things happen. We know that Flame is such a threat in that top lane, but if you gank it for an on, it's never going to work out like that. Let's get a carry in the top lane. Let's get a strong bot lane. And let's take the fight to Rubber Ducky Gaming, who, by the way, they haven't even broken a sweat in this series so far.
I understand that honestly, it looked like Rubber Ducky Gaming are just cool, calm, and collected. Meanwhile, Dorado, they're trying to force some things in the top side that time. Didn't really work out. And I understand you want to relieve some pressure of Flame on this Gwen, but Ornn is never going to carry this game. And I understand if Gwen gets fed, that's going to be a problem. But on the flip side, if you get your Twitch on the drunk ahead, that's going to be able to carry the game as well. So why didn't they play towards that bot side? Over time and time again, this Rakan and Jinx free scaling every game so far. And then guess what they do? The top side of the game is ahead for Rubber Ducky Gaming. Then the free Jinx and Rakan scale right in. Team fights are just unwinnable. And they have massive leads despite how the games are going. And so Dorado, you got to figure something out.
Well, look, Chris, I'm about to start going crazy.
Oh, okay. All right, Lamb. Go.
I'm telling you right now, Dorado, I came for a best of five-game series in the final. I've been waiting all season for it. Do not disappoint me. Do not disappoint me. Plus, Silver Scripts is really hyped to listen to, Crim. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm so pissed off. I want to see a competitive final, and right now, it's very, very one-sided.
Yeah, we wanted this one to go distance. You're disappointing Lamb, okay? Never disappoint Lamb. You can disappoint me, okay? That's understandable. Everyone expects that. I have high expectations. But Lamb, how dare you? All right, so we want to draft. You got to change something up. Don't let this free scale happen every game. And for heaven's sakes, we need to see a stomp bot side.
Yes, for heaven's sake, for goodness sake, for the love of God, everything is coming out on the desk. Get it done, Dorado. We know you can play better, and the fans are sitting there in quietness for now. But once you get that momentum, the explosion, the change in the attitude, and the way that you look at winning the game could change in a heartbeat. But again, side selection, Rubber Ducky Gaming, still going to be on blue side. Dorado on the red side. So again, will the Jinx go through? Will the Jinx go through? Will the Rakan go through? They're going to ban away the Udyr here, Crims. How do you adapt to this game 3? What is the answer in the ban sense for Dorado Gaming Epsilon?
Have a feeling they're not going to ban away the Jinx or Rakan. And you know what? Maybe they take it away. They go, we're on the Jinx. They're going to go Xayah Rakan themselves. We'll see if that's what they do. I think that's probably going to be a better look overall than what they've done so far. Please don't do the same thing. Take Thresh, get him out of here. Get him out of here. No Thresh. I don't want to see Thresh anymore. We don't, no Thresh. Go away, Thresh. Okay? Pick something else.
Pick something else. Yeah, pick something better than Thresh. Just anything but Thresh. But again, maybe they're taking that away because they think that Jinx got too much involvement in that. Just let it happen. Look, get your composition in your head. Okay, this is a secret to Summoner's Rift right here in League of Legends. Take it from a Silver 4 player. That you just figure out what works best for you and you do it. You rely upon yourself first and foremost, and then you come together as a team. Bingo, bango. I've got the recipe for success here, Crims, and I'm releasing a book very soon. The Adventures of Lamb in winning in solo queue. There's not very much winning that goes on, let me tell you. We're getting way off subject. But look, Dorado Gaming Epsilon, third and final ban. They take away the Udyr. That's answered that question. But the Rakan is still a contention. I feel like you have to take it away. There's too much playmaking contention. It's not taken away.
It's Nautilus, okay?
Yeah, they still focus the support, so maybe that's something that they can take away from this. But of
There's
course,
the
Rubber
Jinx.
Ducky Gaming, they're going to pick the
As
Jinx.
expected. Yep. Okay. Xayah Rakan. I'm not going to say anything else.
Oh, baby! Do it!
I knew it! I knew it!
All right, let's go next. This game's over.
Okay, what a call. You know what, Lamb? I just can predict the future as we all know, I have precog abilities Zyricon. Now that makes the Nautilus band make a lot more sense. And now Rubber Duck Gaming, what's your Recon counter? What are you going to do to beat this Recon here? They could go scaling route. Karma doesn't really work with Jinx. A lot of the laners that you would pick don't work into Recon. Thresh, in my opinion, is not a Recon counter. Of course, if you get hooked on Recon, that can be a bad time for you, and you can flay the engage, but this duo, Zyricon, they have so much flexibility in the lane. They can fight, they can poke, they could do an all-in. It's just so good. And so I love this adaptation from Dorado Gaming, and I love that they went for this.
Let me see your DMs after this. Did you DM Dorado saying it plays Zyra? Anyway, they must have heard you. You're channeling your inner Dorado. Yeah, we're on to that next pick. So Belveth's going to be locked in. We've seen it so successful in the jungle for Espresso. Not changing anything there. So once again, going to have that full power to scale up as you enjoyed thoroughly. Volibear going to be locked in for Dorado. This can't be flexed. Okay, they're changing it up again. They obviously have that win condition in their mind. Dorado Gaming Epsilon look like they're cooking up a storm here, Crims.
So the Volibear has a lot of burst and mixed damage. And very notably, that magic burst that comes in percent health is going to be very helpful against the Belveth here. So I think the Volibear, of course, also very strong early game, gonna take it to this Belveth. And now they can play towards this bot lane. They can set Rubber Ducky Gaming behind. And Volibear is so strong early game, can basically dominate in the 2v2 versus Belveth here. So Dorado Gaming, I'm liking this look so far. I think the Olaf ban, you know, Olaf's just so strong. Get him out of here. I don't care. I want to see a mid lane that can roam bottom. A strong mid lane roamer. Hopefully they can go ahead and pick that up. And I think Dorado, once they get that, beautiful draft here.
Well, they take away the Gwen as well. So both second phases of bans all going to be top laners in this one. You argue that there's some flex going on there, but traditionally all of them belong to that top lane. So Flames champion pool just got a little teeny tiny bit smaller. This guy's champion pool is an ocean. What is he cooking up for us here to answer this one? But it is going to be on Dorado to claim their fourth pick in this rotation. Will they opt to go for the jungle? I mean, the Volibear can still be flexed to the jungle. Again, probably not the best in that department, but this pick will certainly tell us that K'Sante is going to go to the top side. So it's going to leave Volibear in that jungle. Unless it's going mid. Crims, please, God, no. Don't let it go mid here. Just pick a control mage, handshake it, and be done with it. But
no, I don't want
here,
a control mage. I want a mid lane roamer, okay?
Okay.
I mean, I guess Talia still falls in that category. So we could split it. Ugh. I don't know about that. We can split the difference. Talia is a mid lane control mage and a roamer.
Splitting the difference between a dragon and a person who suffers rock?
Aurelian's not on the table here. As Camille gets locked in, so that's going to be a diver. Hopefully going to try to dive into that Xayah. That's what Rubber Ducky Gaming want to do. And can beat this K'Sante after a bit of scaling here. And their last pick is going to be Victor. So they are the ones who are going to lock in that control mage. And now from Dorado, they're going to go poke. Okay, so they have poke. Corki very much mirrors a control mage style, so I guess, Lamb, you kind of win out on this one.
That's right. I predicted the Corki. I mean, the package is going to be very influential. Of course, that Camille becomes again so pivotal in this case. And Flame on these solo carries has proven that he is well, true and ready to take on that fight every time it comes up to that top lane. So again, a complete 180 on the composition from Dorado here. They obviously think it's backs against the wall, which it is, by the way. We can't stress that enough, that they have to come out and win this game. Can they do it with this team comp, Crims? Can they make things happen and start the reverse sweep right here, right now?
They have Corki, who can scale super well in the mid lane. With the package, can roam. The Volibear matchup into Belveth means they can win early. K'Sante is also a point of strength for them here. Dorado, I like your draft enough here to think that this, again, is going to be a Dorado win. I was wrong last time. And you know what, Lamb? I guess I'm one of the hopers out there who thinks that Dorado can at least start their win, get a comeback in game number 3 here.
Well, I think even Rubber Ducky gaming fans can say that they actually want Dorado to actually win a game here. They don't want to see the clean sweep. They want to see something competitive. They want to see Rubber Ducky gaming actually take it up a level. Push that gear stick. Go into second gear. They've been in first gear. They've been just traveling on by, not bothered about anything. The engine's fresh. The kilometers are low. And they're just looking to get to that next destination, which is their last destination for this season. They've got 1 foot. I always say that, Crims. They got 1 hand on that championship right now, but can they get 2? And you've already mentioned that Dorado, they've got enough in the tank in this composition. So where do you see it happening? We see no action, literally none, in that bot side. Is that going to change in this game?
Yeah, I think they have to. There's no way. Jinx is a very vulnerable pick. You can't shut her down. They have a Volibear. That is their ticket to getting turret dives and making sure that Vesper is out of this game, because let's be honest, free scaling and then does amazing at these team fights. They need an answer, and they need to do it now. So game 3, Dorado, execute on this bot side. If you don't, it's just going to be a free scale again for Vesper, and it's going to be a loss. I know they have a better scaling option in Corki now, but just the way these games have been going, need to shut down this Jinx.
They definitely do. And the fact that Kisanti is going to go on to formerly known as Doltini Linguini, big, bold, and thick, actually gets a champion that he's relatively comfortable on, right? You can take the 1v1 with Kisanti. This is a champion that you can underestimate still the all-out damage that comes out from him. He can be that big front line as well as dishing out the damage, take somebody out of the fight, and in a moment's notice, that's kind of what you're looking for. Get one of these big carries from Rubber Ducky Gaming out of the fight and then leave it up to the Rakan to set them up and Xayah to knock them down. But again, that win condition, it's tough. It's tough, right? That mental fortitude is under threat right now. They've been under the cost for both games. But if you are, let's go to the winning side first for just a second. Let's stop the optimism, because Rubber Ducky Gaming, they've been phenomenal. They've been clean. They've been classy. The macro's been on point. They've had answers to every single thing that Dorado has to do. What can they do in this game other than just play League of Legends? What can they do to make sure that they make it a 3-0 and go on to lift that Conqueror Championship?
If they want to survive this one, obviously they got to make sure that they do not give up any advantages to that Xayah, because if that Xayah is going to be there hammering away, sending out those feathers, gonna melt your Bel'Veth and your Camille, and is gonna be able to survive, and they're gonna get taken out, and you're not gonna have a front line to fight with. So you need to make sure that you're not doing anything to throw the game. And so far, game 1 and 2, that has been the case. They have not thrown any of those games. And in fact, they're the ones getting the mid-game leads here. So if they continue doing that, if they get a mid-game lead where their Bel'Veth can deal enough damage to get that first kill, and then they get those resets going, that is going to be a really good strategy, because obviously it worked in game 1 and 2. They can do it again.
Well, Crims, I am on the edge of my seat. This could be the conclusion. This could be our final cast for the Conqueror this season. And again, it's been thoroughly enjoyable, even for the final being so one-sided. But the unthinkable, can it happen? Can Dorado pull this game back from the dead? The series back from the dead. We're on the edge of our seats, damn it. Take us to a game 4 at the very least and make this competitive. But again, Rubber Ducky Gaming, they're so hard to stop. Can they keep that up? Can they keep that momentum to cement their place in Titan Conqueror history? Stay tuned, guys. We're getting ready for game 3. actually encouraged that in the last time, but we're not going to go that far into it.
I didn't encourage anything.
He didn't encourage it. He didn't encourage it. I mean, he's got that sleeper build, let's be honest. Look, they're under the pressure. This is game 3. This is ginormous pressure. You speak in big pressure situations, it doesn't get much bigger than this. Laid out before you is an immovable object, an unstoppable force in the terms of Rubber Ducky Gaming. Get off to a good start in this game. Make things happen here, Crims, because Dorado, they cannot go out like this.
Yeah, a 0-3 showing for them is surprising to say the least. And to everyone who's been performing your writs of black magic here, hopefully those powers come through for Dorado. As this time, for the first time, Lamb, the junglers are pathing against each other.
Excellent.
Maybe something new is what we needed to see here, as we have Flame taking a huge push on the top side already. And that means both junglers kind of already know where the other one is, where they're headed to. And so we'll see if any plays are created.
All right,
yeah, Ryan,
so
aggressive
that's
early.
A hook gonna land as well. The Orion, you can see the Drunk has had enough of this passive gameplay already, putting down their intentions against this Jinx and Thresh, who for the first time pair up in this series. The Rakan actually goes over, so Rakan picked all the way through this series, and this time it ends up on Dorado Gaming Epsilon. So can they make it look as good as Doradaro's here? It's gonna get another knockup level 2. Which means the battle dance should be available if the Orion wants it. Looks like he didn't even level that one up, so he'll walk that one away. We're seeing a cheeky gank attempt on the Flame. Already used the hook shot off the wall. Looks like Big Bold and Thick gonna lay down the gauntlet, lay down the challenge. No flash on the Camille. He's still not got the hook shot here. This might be first blood. The Dorado Gaming Epsilon looking to bounce back as they get a kill over to Cassante.
Okay, first blood. And this time, no one dies for Dorado like in game number 1. And Hybrid Carry is sacrificing a lot for that play, Lamb, because look at this. He's gonna have to walk all the way from his base to those camps to clear and match the speed of Espresso here. Meanwhile, Espresso full clearing away. And I mean, just want to reiterate, Espresso on this Belveth, once scales, is absolutely massive. We saw in game number 2, just completely takes over those team fights here. And so it does come at a price for that game. Tough Daddy is low. The burst could come through, and Espresso is in the area, so we're gonna have to come back to that one, Lamb.
So for the first time in this series, RDG, they're down in gold. Crims, it's turning. No, it's only 200 gold. But I'm sure they've suffered a minor setback here. And I'm sure that won't phase Flame up there in the top lane. He returns back to duty up there against Cassante. Big Bold and Thick gonna feel good about that one. But 10 CS down, even with getting that kill over onto the Camille. So, Hybrid Carry, next pathing. Looks like getting the wraparound in that bot side. I believe was discovered or not. Looking to get pings down as well. And Orion waiting in the wings for this engage. So this wave is in a favorable state for this gang, but you can see Ordaro and Vesper, they're putting respect on. They don't know where Hybrid Carry is right now.
Yeah, Espresso's in the area too. All right, they're gonna go for it right now.
Flash Grand Entrance goes down. That roots
the snare didn't land
for a second. He can heal up pretty much everything there. Uses Summoner, goes under.
Oh,
that's a massive play from Espresso coming back in to the gang. He's gonna counter gank that one with his own. First kill back over. Flay brings Drunk back in. Hybrid Carry gonna be the front focus.
Double
kill over to the jungler of RDG.
And that is always what is so scary about that timing. As a jungler, you have to know that Espresso is on his way back to get that camp that's respawning there. And so he was in the area. There was a very tight margin for that play. And Lamb, they don't hit it. And they mess up again. And this is another potential for free scaling in the bot lane. Espresso is up again. And we just have to talk about it. Is Hybrid Carry getting outclassed in the grand finals here?
hurts to look at it like that, but I mean, there's no argument that can be made. Right place at the right time, the pathing from Espresso on point every single time. And a lot of that is to do with the intelligence of being a jungler and knowing where the opposing jungler is at all times. Obviously, sniffing out the Volibear might be looking to make a play down there. Regardless, Dorado are going to answer back and try and claim that dragon. Now, they've always given over several kills when they've gone for these objectives. So can they get this one cleanly?
That is the question here. Volibear, though, still strong despite the death in this early game. But we have to be looking 2 minutes, 4 minutes from now. Espresso has such a lead. And it looks like they're going to be trying to set back Cassante here.
Level 6 on the Camille means you cannot
close.
escape that attempt. So Cassante's flash blown. That early game advantage is now leveled out up there in the top lane.
Yeah, that's going to be blown as well. Tough Daddy is going to dodge out the storm there. So far is surviving against this Victor. Espresso looking for something over the wall. No smite away, as that is going to be a stolen camp. And Hybrid Carry can't punish there because Tough Daddy went to back. Doesn't have TP either. No way to make it to that play. That'd be a 1v2. And so it's looking again, Lamb, Rubber Ducky, they're up early, not what's supposed to be happening.
1200 gold lead is why they're up right now. And 7 minutes into the game. Okay, it's an early gold advantage, but still for Dorado, it stays the same. Just win the game, Crims, that's it. Just win the game. And they're not doing so bad in terms of getting that gank off in the top lane. You need to see more of that from Hybrid Carry. Returns back to the jungle on the Krugs right now. And Big Bald and Thick feeling nice and safe to push up here, but that ward coverage in that top side river belongs to Rubber Ducky Gaming, so they will spot out the Corki here. And of course, playing around that package is going to be super important going forward. Definitely when it comes to these objectives, that can be the thing that turns everything around for this side.
The Corki package is a big deal, and that could be a game-winning play waiting to happen right now. As 1 minute away from this dragon, they have pressure on bottom. They are pushing. There is a CS lead. Flame feels pretty strong on this top side already. And we know what happens when Flame feels strong. Just turns into complete domination up there.
Looks like they're skirmishing for that ward coverage, and it doesn't get deleted. But Hybrid Carry remained in the fog of war for now. Red Honda, can he get the Q down? Yeah, lands on him as well. Going to get knocked up by the Orion, and that's going to be a kill over to Tough Daddy. Red Honda choosing not to use the flash and pays with it with his life.
Yeah, had to flash that early. Hard to know that was going to be a combo, but Hybrid Carry right around the corner there obviously makes that a certainty for death. I believe Rift Herald gets traded, so kill for Rift Herald. We'll see if they can make that trade worth it here on the side of Rubber Ducky Gaming. As bot lane just farming up and Vesper catching up on that CS difference here, so this gold quite even all around.
We can take our eyes back to that jungle in 2-0 for Espresso in this one. Now hits level 7. So an experience advantage over Hybrid Carry, as well as a 20 CS deficit for the Volibear in this game so far. But the game state doesn't change for Volibear either. You can offer that dive. We're still waiting to see where he'll take his attention to. Now he's at level 6. See if he can make things happen. But Cassante still under threat from Flame. We've seen Flame in control of this wave
I think he might be getting
too
dove.
often. Looks like Shelly's going to be dropped down there as well. There'll be no jungle assistance because Volibear is looking to get back onto Victor. He's going to have to use the flash now. So Red Honda retreating in the red side of the jungle. He's on the wrong side of the map here. Hook shot off the wall on the Flame. Precision Protocol, Hextech call, Mayhem, good night. Vienna all out comes out for Big Bald and Thick. And you missed out the other equation in that he's dead once again in this game, picking up the second death of the game.
Yep, that dev was set up. I saw Flame stacking that wave and capitalize on that with the Rift Herald on top. And that's going to be a huge gold injection. And meanwhile, Dorado, they don't get anything in exchange. So this is just a complete trade up. They went for Red Honda again, but they weren't able to get that kill. And that Rift Herald is certainly worth it now. They'll just be steamrolling down. They get first turret as well. And look at this. It's a 3,000 gold lead, and the game is only 10 minutes.
They're looking for the second
Wait, this is
tier
2.
unanswered.
Oh.
such value out of that Herald. Big Bald and Thick has to retreat to the inhibitor turret this early on in the game. It's only 10.5, and both turrets already cemented down up there, accompanied by Espresso, so more gold into that top lane synergy with the jungler.
I can already tell you that in this game, 1,600 gold lead for Flame, and then in the jungle, a 2,200 gold lead for Espresso. So this is massive topside strength for Rubber Ducky Gaming, and there's nothing that matches that on the side of Dorado here. They're gonna go for this dragon. However, they're running right into Espresso.
Quickness on to the Velvet, but disengages with the above and below. Passage goes out as well. Holds on to the flash for that long. Espresso just so cool, calm, and collected. But it might spell that this dragon could go over. This will be the second consecutive dragon of the game to Dorado Gaming Epsilon. They got 4 members here, and Corky has that package, which warrants respect.
Yeah, definitely need to respect that. As they're picking up this jungle, they successfully escort Espresso off the premises. I know, I was prepared for that. But they escort that jungler off the premises. They pick up 2 dragons. Not bad. However, that 3k gold lead looming at the back of their heads, as that's something they're going to have to worry about. Flame, again, in such a good position versus Big Bald and Espresso. I mean, already Mythic completed. First one of the game. And the scaling gets worse and worse as the game goes on.
So for right now, for Dorado, it's not a bad place to be. This means that Big Bald and Thick, it's going to take something very special to actually catch them out now. So the benefit of having both of those turrets down mean a little bit more acquired safety on that top laner of Dorado. But again, it puts more threat and emphasis on the red side of the jungle, that you're probably going to have to do some vertical jungling to try and get some farm. But it could be setting up a dive here. Vesper looking enticing. They got 4 members here, or Darrow. They're going to go for it without the wave, but the ultimate will disable the turret. Clean dive coming off, and that kill goes over at Tough Daddy down there in the bot lane as they get the jinx. All out, going to come out from Big Bald and Thick. Still going to take the fight. Going to use the flash to get out of there. Espresso's up here as well, looking to crash that wave. The K'Sante lives, and they still get one on the bot side.
All right, Big Bald survives, but that chunk from Flame, absolutely just unfair, as they do get that dive onto Vesper eventually. It does happen. As mid lane, though, looks like Red Honda got 2 plates in total. Tough Daddy gonna... I don't know if he defended that last plate there. Wait a minute, Flame looking for more.
Rakan is a slippery customer in this case. Goes back in with the battle
they
dance.
catch him.
Stasis. Drunk in. Tough Daddy is here. He cut off Espresso. Feathers go out. Red Honda going to zone them out. That's the teleport coming in. It's going to be Big Bald and Thick looking to get ready and into the action. They've had enough. And it looks like they will disengage, so they don't even get anything unless Hybrid Carry going to slow down, going to flash forward on the Red Honda. That missile does not land, but of course, Orient sets it up, and that's the Phosphorus Bomb on it. Tough Daddy claims his 3rd kill of this game.
Tough Daddy is scaling ahead, and that's the one counterpoint that they've finally built on the side of Dorado, is this Corky 3 kills up, as well as 2 deaths for Red Honda. They've been hunting him, and it's paying off here. Hasn't hit that Mythic yet, and that's just due to that, you know, weird Corky build coming through, but certainly is building strength in this game. Also went Cole, about to complete that as well. And so that is the bright spot for Dorado here. And they can win through Corky Poke. I mean, that champion, once you get scaled, you can start half chunking people from a mile away, and that's going to be the one thing that Dorado can do to win.
And Flame still taking the fight to Big Bald and Thick and low health, and he'll walk that one away. But the one thing you can say, gratifying enough, is K'Sante staying up in the CS department, not getting gapped out this game in the CS department too. So again, that pressure from Flame is being withstood right now, but the second herald of the game is up, and it looks like it might be a contest from Dorado. They cut that goal lead. It's still the same, as it was. So 4,000, kind of fluctuating around that 3,000 mark as well. Orion going to drop the ward, and they'll know this is started up. They know 3 members are up here. Victor's up here as well. They're only leaving both the AD carries down there. They will not be available for this fight, but that's going to be a hook on a hybrid carry. That's a play timed perfectly as well, and that's re-engage. Espresso gets that one, going to equal out the Corki in the kills department, gets his 3rd kill of the game, and they're going to secure the 2nd Herald.
Man, it looks so difficult for Dorado. Despite that Corki weren't able to use that poke, flex his strength there. Tough Daddy has to get away from Ordario and Espresso. The mounting dread of this champion is building as they're going to knock down yet another turret. This is looking like it's going to be 3 turrets to nothing as they can't get a response from Drunk on the bot side.
Well, they got 2 turrets with the 1st Herald of the game up there in the top side. I'm not going to get that in the mid lane. Corki's going to be able to defend that one, and once again we pivot up to that top side. K'Sante absorbing the pressure from Flame is going to be jumped on now. Looks like he's out. Yeah, no flash on the volley bear. Teleport coming in as well. This is going to be Red Honda. Back him up. Quickness activated as well. Going to get the shield from Precision Protocol. Looking to re-engage that gravity field. Going to split them up here. Going to turn back on to K'Sante. He's going to get the all out. Bring him back in with the Hextech Ultimatum. Big Bald Thick going to go down with the Chaos Storm burning through him. Red Honda is backing him up, and Orient has to hightail it out here. Going to get the Battle Dance to safety onto the Volibear. Has the ultimate. Reactivate that one. Going to be followed by Flame as well. The notorious top laner laying down the challenge. Challenge accepted. Red Honda. Tough Daddy bites one back, but the spotlight is on that top laner of Rubber Ducky Gaming.
All right, can he get this? It's going to be a nice shutdown. Flame's out of mana. Tough Daddy can chase down. Doesn't think he has enough time as well. And that is unfortunate for Tough Daddy there. Yeah, I don't understand going for that play when you don't have any of your damage dealers behind. I mean, Corki and the Xayah, that's it. That's all your damage. You can't really make a play without them. And so that's going to be another turret going down, as well as a dragon just for 1 kill. The trades, they're not trading up from the side of Dorado. That's what they really need to trade up in this game, and they are not doing that.
All eggs in the Corki basket. Tough Daddy stepping up to the plate. 4 kills in this game. Dorado are looking to the mid laner to provide something very special to win this game. Volibear insurmountably down in CS, really struggling for gold. Warmogs is a first item as well. Hybrid carry not having the greatest of series, has to be said. It's not the best that we've seen this individual at, but he's still trucking along. Now he's looking to funnel the Corki. Any jungle camps that are up is going to be very much up for contention for the solo laners. Big Bald and Thick, I feel like he's been level 10 for an eternity here, Crims, but eventually he's going to get level 11 off this wave, as now they're sending Red Honda to the side lane. You don't see an objective for 140 on the map, and that's going to be the Baron. That 6,000 gold lead setting nicely for RDG. They're just being slow and methodical with this one, but again, Dorado Gaming Epsilon, they're still in with the show.
No, Lamb, I don't want to say it, but this is the best look Dorado's ever shown in this series, and there's 6K down at 18 minutes in. That is, I mean, that just goes to show how much of a mountain that needs to be climbed from Dorado here, as it's a tough challenge. This is their Everest right now, and I'm gonna be honest, Lamb, not a lot of people survive Everest.
Well, tough challenges require Tough Daddy. Crims, he's still in with the show. All the eggs in the Corki basket. We're not giving up just yet, as they push in 3 strong in the top lane from RDG. Now roaming around. That's a 3rd piece of this puzzle on the map that now belongs to them. Face checking into the Fog of War is going to prove very difficult. They're on a ward right now, so Espresso going to get away from that one. Red Honda accompanying that. They move the Jinx to that mid lane, soak up more of the CS. Corki is now going to match the Camille. Makes sense, but Flame going to find that very enticing to go against that fed mid laner.
Yeah, if they get the engage on the Tough Daddy, this game's over. So, tough position to be in. Fortunately for Corki, he has a lot of range, but I not a good situation to be when you have a Camille with Divine Sunder and just so much damage from this Ravenous Hydra in your face. So if Flame finds the angle on the Tough Daddy Lamb, I don't know if he can survive that one, especially with the Hextech ultimatum to follow. Looks like a bit of a trap being set up around this Baron here. We'll see if Dorado bites. They have a soul support in the area trying to clear vision.
Looks like they're trying to make a play for this Baron. Leandro's just completed for Red Honda. So, question, why not? All the mythics are there. They're strong enough to try and take this. Flame gonna go back over the wall. He's gonna find Drunk. The feathers go out. This is a 1v4 by the Camille. Gonna get rooted up as well. Tough Daddy, a lot of damage. Gets the shutdown on the Camille. And forces RDG off that very, very brave Baron attempt.
Flame just too confident there. Tough Daddy right around the corner. Oh my. Okay, look at the health bar of Drunk though. He barely survived, and that's with burning everything. And this is going to lead into dragon control. So Dorado, okay. You've made it to the second stage of Everest. Second base, first base, I don't know. One of those.
This Everest, it's a mountain to climb, isn't it?
You know, I mean, sometimes when you start an analogy, you got to keep going.
We need a couple of Sherpas to guide them here. Make sure that they get up there and down safely. Of course, weather dependent, and that weather is very beaming down. The sun is shining on RDG, and they're looking to try and close this one out. But that dragon 10 seconds away. Will we see a contention for this one? It looks like they're walking forwards here. Teleport coming in.
Okay, they use a teleport to get Tough Daddy here early. That's very important for a poke champion because you need to be there to lay down the damage. They're going to start the dragon themselves, try to bait them into this Corki, and he does have enough damage to carry this game. And it's magic damage as well, so Espresso has to be careful. 4K, the pressure is mounting. Red Honda's on the flank.
Espresso flashes across. The smite goes down very early. They're going to steal away that one. They're going to delete the thresh from the backside of that Hex. They go. Mayhem goes on the Tough Daddy. Oh! The Camille gets the Rakan. Big Ball, the thing all out already activated as well. Laser goes out from Red Honda, and Tough Daddy left alone in the pit. Not a hope in hell is surviving that one. RDG grasp hold of this game.
That flank from Red Honda, I don't know if it was going to work out, but then Espresso goes in the pit, steals the dragon. 3-man knock up right into the Victor damage, and that was a beautiful team fight executed by Rubber Ducky Gaming. The flanks pulled through, and man, they just didn't have enough time for the Corgi poke. I think they could have played that a lot slower on the side of Dorado because Corki's your only win angle, so let him poke, let him get this pre-chunk damage. No need to go for something like bursting down the dragon and forcing a fight.
All right, that goal leads now. Getting a little bit out of hand. I'm so sick of talking about that right now. It looks like RDG are just not letting go of that. They extend it once again by an additional 1,000. And take a look at the CS in that jungle right now. And now we might see a Flame Horizon in this one. As Espresso looking to just pad the stats. He's been so phenomenal in this series, so phenomenal in the season. Best jungler in the league. In contention. I mean, if you're in the final and you're playing this good, it's hard to even argue that point, Crim.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of arguments for here. As Espresso goes for the Black Cleaver. Do you see this? This is, I was expecting a Bork, but says, hey, need to be a little more tanky, a little more utility based here, and builds that BC as we have 3 items being approached here by Tough Daddy and Red Honda. Vesper and the Drunk kind of on even footings here, so for, the only real big difference is that top side in this Cassante Flame Espresso and hybrid carry here. As Baron pings are coming down, Lamb, and it looks like Rubber Ducky Gaming want to pull a trigger to win this game.
Yeah, we know how good they play with the Baron, and if they get this, then the odds are definitely stacked in their favor. Clearing out the vision, playing it slow, letting Flame take away this jungle. More starvation. I mean, that's a very malnourished bear. It's been a long winter for hybrid carry in this game, and he definitely needs to feast. Actually just grabbing level 11 now. So Warmog still that sole item for the volley bear in this one. His whole jungle belongs to everybody but him, and as a jungler, Crims, that feels really bad. And there's nothing that you can do about it. You just need to accept the fact that you are just cannon fodder in this game, which is never a good look. But it looks like desperation plays might tend to happen. Dorado going to make the play. That's going to be the ultimate coming out from Drunk. It's going to be collapsed on by the flame. That's Camille just spreading the fire. Make Death Rocket doesn't get that. Kill secured by Flame, goes over the wall looking for Tough Daddy again, flashes emoji. It's not gonna matter. Double kill, gets both of the carries, big, bold and thick, and getting the hell off the rift. He takes it all out to safety behind that mid lane turret, and once again RDG, they're looking to turn around and take that Baron.
Okay, I thought they're gonna go for the win, but they say Baron first. They're gonna play by the books here, not make anything risky. And in 3 games in a row, the Baron claimed by Rubber Ducky Gaming. And guess what, Lamb? When they picked up that Baron, that game was over in under 3 minutes flat here. And so we have to be worried for Dorado because it's looking like this is going to be their final moments.
Start the stopwatch, 3 minutes. See how much the map they can get done in such fashion. And I mean, the way that they're built right now, they might choose to even brute force this. Tough Daddy, the packages. I mean, the team really hasn't allowed him to excel in this game. The poke that Corky offers, and really none of the team fights have been favoring Tough Daddy in melee distance or Flame. It's very hard to actually get away from Flame in this game. Crims now death stance complete for the top laner. He's just looking to run it straight into 4, maybe even 5, and try and get a couple of solo kills. It doesn't even matter at this point. Level 16 now. They're going to collapse onto him. It's going to prove very difficult to get him. Last going. Only going to take Orion over with him. He might be choosing to take this fight. He is. Hextech Ultimatum lands onto the malnourished bear. Hybrid carry going to walk away. They completely left the base for the desperation attempt, and now they could be cut off. But it doesn't look like they're going to opt for that. So the inhibitors are for sure about to go down.
Okay, they're trying to go for the flank. This is basically a risky angle, but it's their only hope here. Let's see if they can pull it off. Dorado.
Package is here. Tough Daddy lays it down, trying to get a defense. Chaos Storm just burns him to death, and Espresso just eaten. For real, feathers go out. It's going to root them up for a second. Mega Death Rock. We didn't see that one go by. The drunk has to extend to the next turrets, but that's followed by a Vesper rocket rising from the ruins. There was no ruins. The only ruins in this game is Dorado Gaming Epsilon's base, and they're going straight for the Conqueror title. Stand up and be counted. Rubber Ducky Gaming win the series 3-0.
Rubber Ducky Gaming are doing some spring cleaning here, Lamb, because that is a clean sweep. 9-0 all the way to the end. No one stood a chance against them on their warpath, slashing and burning, and now they are the Titan champions, and it's obvious to see no one can contend with them.
Flame is just that sparkling difference. Espresso is just the superstar. The squad, Red Honda, Vesper, or Darrow, they've all engraved their names into the Conqueror history books tonight. Clean sweeping the whole way to the final, and they made it look easy, Crims. I'm thoroughly impressed. I wanted the game 5. I'm sure everybody did. I could see that quite a few people actually were saying that, well, I'm an RDG fan, and actually, Lamb, we would like the 3-0. Well, congratulations. You guys got it in such fashion, such style, and what confidence, honestly, Crims. No matter the state of the game, these guys just had a way to win it, and they never looked like for a second they were out of it.
Yeah, complete control of the game through their top and jungle. Espresso honestly did such a good job this series. I think MVP for me, completely outclassing his opponent in hybrid carry, and that's not something a lot of people were able to do. And Espresso completely demolishing that matchup. The Belveth coming in, the Udyr coming in, both of them were problems. And Espresso just time and time again finding really good knockups, finding really good angles, winning the early game on these champions, on the scaling and the strong side matchups. So Espresso doing really good and really set up Flame every game for a nice carry performance on the Gwen and on that Camille. Just looked so good. And, and that Gnar just completely controlling that top side. So I think that's really my two MVPs for the series, and I'm just going to give it to Espresso. I think he did a bang on job.
I gotta concur with my colleague. Just phenomenal, phenomenal. No room for a white flag in that game. And you could say that Rubber Ducky Gaming have been thoroughly entertaining all season long, as have Dorado Gaming Epsilon. Let's not get away from that. This is a series on a different day. Maybe Dorado will turn up here, but it just looked like they didn't get out to the races. Unfortunately, that spells punishment in the form of RDG. They will not let you get away with that. They are too clean with it, Crims. And I mean, they were on the cusp of victory. It didn't really matter. They can brute force it. They played the map spectacularly well. And Flame, superstar, amazing, so phenomenal. But that is all aided and abetted around the one individual that you've already mentioned as your MVP. And I completely agree and wholeheartedly is Espresso played absolutely phenomenal on the Belvet. The way that he just limited himself to nothing. Everything was on offer for this guy, and he took every advantage that came his way.
Pretty much just fully capitalizing on every mistake from Tough Daddy as well as Hybrid Carry in the 2v2, and really gave Big Bald a tough time. Gave it to him hard and fast there on that top lane. And so
okay, all right.
I can use lamb lines as well. Lamb lines as as I mean, it really made this matchup difficult for everyone on the map for Dorado. So big performance from them in grand finals, showing that they are not afraid of the limelight here.
No.
All the attention, I think, playing this crazy in front of 80 viewers, and so they are not scared to make these big plays. And I mean, they may look easy,
stunning, elation, everything, every positive word you can say about the squad, thoroughly deserving it. We do want to give a little shout out to Mr. King X Death. You're the winner, baby. I mean, we're all winners. We're witnessing Conqueror, but you're the winner of, I believe it's the mystery skin. So congratulations on that one. Sorry, I've seen you popping in a few times in the chat every time we had an opportunity to look over here. So congratulations on that. And congratulations have to go out to Rubber Ducky Gaming. Phenomenal, spectacular organization. Look forward to what they have storing in the future. And as well, Crims, is Dorado Gaming Epsilon. They'll go away. They'll learn from this. That squad is very good as well. So we look forward to what they can offer going forward. So commiserations have to go out with them. And thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to cast both orgs games. Crims, this is it for us this season. Any last final words? Final words, like you're next. You're going to be the 4-0 in this case?
No, I'm not gonna make any death threats, Lamb. But it was a good series. It was a good series. I had a lot of fun casting, and thanks everyone who participated, because I'd be here talking to Lamb, just wishing that someone else would be here instead.
What the hell?
And you guys made it enjoyable. Look, I got a flame. That's my personality. So I'm gonna go. My final send off is me flaming my co-caster.
You love it. You wouldn't see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see it anywhere else. Honestly, Tiny Sports on a Wednesday. We got so much coming in the future as well. And remember, guys, that sign-ups, they are open. So if you want to be here doing the exact same thing, they are open till April 16th. It's a little bit sad about getting this clean sweep through, but it was a phenomenal performance. I see people shouting about the interview. I believe that it's going to be post-game. Unfortunately, we would love to hear from them, but it's just a little bit tight on the time on our end here. So we appreciate everybody's interest on that one, but you will certainly hear from the winning team. But that's it. We're going to close out here for the last time. Don't Resident Sleeper me. We're about to go Resident Sleeper. Don't give me that, right? This will be thoroughly entertaining. This is top tier content. We love it. But we're going to close this one out here. From the bottom of our hearts, me and Crims, we've thoroughly enjoyed this season. Titan Esports, thank you for having us. We look forward to working with you in the future as well. There we go. All right, you guys are trolling me. We're going to close out once again. So it's been an absolute pleasure to cast over Conqueror this whole season, from me and Crims, from production and looking, from Sems, from the whole staff that worked so hard at Titan to make this happen for as well. We definitely appreciate all your time. But guys, for the last time, good night, God bless, and we'll see you next season.